Good afternoon and welcome to KUMBTV's Eyes Up Mother Brown for the very last time in this 2021-22 season. And what a season it's been for West Ham United. A campaign fought across four different fronts, the Premier League, the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and of course the Europa League. And we'll be talking about that, no doubt, a little bit later in the stream. Now, let's see if we can get some video up and running. Where are we? There we go. And that's me. And I've got nothing on the background. That's not right. And let's sort that out, and let's get my fellow hosts in as well with me this afternoon. I'm going to be joined today by Rio. There he is on the screen already, and Nick, who's going to be coming in very, very shortly. Rio, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Hi, mate. You all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. Not so bad. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get a stream up.
So am I.
Okay.
Little success at the moment.
There you go. How you doing, Nick?
All right. Just trying to focus my camera a bit, actually. It's a bit blurry. I think I need a new one. Hang on. Oh, it's got crack over his thing. Don't know.
Right. There you go. A few teething troubles for the team here this afternoon. Now, where's my video gone? Why has my video disappeared? That's all very strange. Oh, I'm back. Okay.
Thanks very much. It's a bit of an improvement.
Yeah. Rental toilet rules and all that, yeah.
Thank you very much. Stream, not easy to get this afternoon because we're not one of the main channels, of course. Every Premier League game being played at 4 p.m. this afternoon. It's quite unique, of course, everyone playing at the same time to try and ensure that there's no shenanigans between certain clubs to ensure positions are sorted out in a certain way. And, of course, gentlemen, there are quite a lot of things up for grabs this afternoon. We've got a Premier League title up for grabs. We've got a relegation spot up for grabs. Europa League spots, and then various mid-table spots up for grabs. Let's start at the top. Rio, who are you going for the Championship this afternoon?
City. I'm begging, please, City. Nonsense. No.
Nick, you in agreement with that?
In agreement with what? City for the Championship? Yes. Yes. It's got to be. Can't be anyone else. I can't. Liverpool are just too insufferable if they win.
Who's got 22?
That's the 3 out of 3. Someone's got
a stream, but it's now coming up with some team from North London.
We've got some noise in the background from one of you gentlemen. Relegation spot: Leeds or Burnley? Rio?
Leeds, please. And also, no, this is only on dependent that Everton don't get drawn in front of the FA. Yep. Got 3 points for being, Everton. But yeah, otherwise Leeds.
Yeah, of course. There's we're just kicked off here at the Amex, and West Ham are on the attack straight away. We'll come back to that in a minute because ball's just been centred by Jarrod Bowen and sort of half cleared out by Brighton. But West Ham looking to get it now. I don't know what's going on with my video. I've had also some terrible problems with my camera in the lead up to this, so it may be that I'm off more often than I'm on, and I'm obviously not going to get a chance to look at that now, but it seems to be I'm down currently. So, gentlemen, it'll be over to you. Nick, Leeds or Brighton for you? Sorry, Leeds or Burnley for you, should I say?
Hopefully, Leeds go down so that we can then rob them of a couple of their players.
Anyone in particular fancy?
In what way? That's so rude. Phillips. I want Calvin Phillips and that other bloke.
Yeah. Rafina, perhaps?
That's the bloke, yes.
That's the one.
Sorry, I'm trying to still get a stream up and I'm losing the will to live because it kind of ain't happening.
Okay. Well, we'll keep you informed as well as everyone else. Should we say some hellos to some of our regulars joining us for the last time on the stream today? Craven, to Dan, to John, Hobo, and everyone else joining us live on the stream this afternoon. Good to see you, chaps, and we should thank you on behalf of everybody here at KUMB for your support throughout the season once again. It's been good having you with us on these streams throughout the year.
Forward it goes by Cresswell.
So thank you for your support. We've got some feed again. I'm guessing that's you again, Nick. Is it?
I've just muted. Yes. Rio, have you got a stream yet, mate?
Not a good one. Let's put it that way.
Right, I'm going to send you in the chat on this Zoom thing here the link of the one that's working for me. There you go. I've sent it.
Awesome. Well done. Thank you for that, Nick. 2 minutes gone anyway at the Amex. Now, of course, we were talking about those permutations what can happen this afternoon. West Ham, of course, still going for a top 6 finish, but it is out of our hands as things stand, because us finishing top 6 would be dependent upon Manchester United. We've just seen another ball coming from the right-hand side from West Ham, aimed for Thomas Suchek, but it's an easy one for the Brighton keeper. West Ham definitely on top at the moment. Yeah, West Ham finishing top 6, gentlemen, of course, would depend upon Manchester United. Well, I mean, they could draw at Palace if we win. That would work in our favour. But what do you make of that one, Rio? I mean, Manchester United have been in dreadful form of late. Looks like a lot of their players are not only on the beach, but at other clubs possibly already. Do you think there's a chance Palace can turn them over and do us a favour there?
I think there's every chance in the world, to be honest.
Right.
We've got to factor in the fact that Patrick Vieira's rather, checkered history with Manchester United during his playing career. Yeah. I think Patrick might be a bit happy to send Man United into the conference rather than Europa League as well. So you never know.
No, you don't. There's been a goal at Anfield in the race for the title. Wolves have scored. That's probably a little bit of a surprise. Thank you, Craven, for the heads up on that. Nick, what do you reckon? Can you see Palace turning over Manchester United at the Sellers this afternoon?
I don't know about turn them over. That's actually a tricky one to call. I think it's gonna. I can see. I'll get my teeth in. I can see them getting a draw out of it.
Okay.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And obviously, if they beat them, all the better as well. Because if they beat, we only need a draw, don't we?
Well, I think we're 2 points behind, aren't we? So we would have to win.
Right. I knew there was a draw involved. Oh no, it's if Man U draw and we win, we still qualify, don't we? That's right.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, if we win, they have to win. It's as simple as that, really. A draw won't be enough for them to finish above us. But I've kind of got a feeling that Palace are going to beat them, or at least get something out of their game. And I'm not that confident about us here at the Amex. It's been a long time, chaps, since we last beat them. What is it, Nick? We were talking about this fairly recently. 9 fixtures, I think you have to go back. 3 defeats in a row since we beat them 6-0. And then we've had 6 draws since, but we haven't won since 2012 against this lot.
No, that was a 6-0 win, wasn't it?
Indeed.
Last time we won. So, and that link I sent Rio is now not working.
All right. Well, I'll try and keep you all up to date then. Sorry, gents. So that goal for Wolves, by the way, at Anfield, coming from Pedro Nieto after just 3 minutes. So no doubt Anfield will be stunned into silence right now, and there'll be a little bit of relief at Anfield. But Rio, what's your thoughts? I mean, we're talking about the top 6 finish. We did incredibly well last year, didn't we? To squeeze in there and. Well, we didn't squeeze in there. We could have really finished even higher, but to finish in the top 6, can we do it again this year? I mean, do you see all the gods and Lady Luck and everything lining up in our favour this afternoon?
I just think it's one of them days. I think we can.
Right.
I'm very hopeful for a change.
Yeah.
I'm infuriated by the fact that the reason we're not already secured that spot, we dropped 6 points against an awful Manchester United side.
Yeah.
All those last-minute goals, they've contributed, haven't they? And it's kicked us in the backside. But we're still in the hunt. It's in our own hands, really. Because if we put in performance at Brighton, I am sure Palace will be doing everything they can beat Man United. Because everyone wants to beat Man U.
Well, that's true. And, at the moment, there's no better time, is there, really? Pablo Fornals has just conceded a free kick, bringing down Brighton's, I think he's their player of the year, Cucurella, who looks incredible. You guys out there won't be aware of this, but... there used to be an interpreter that worked at West Ham, a guy called Mark Joss, and he's the absolute spitting image of Brighton's fullback, Cucurella. Anyway, 6 minutes, 6 seconds gone on my stream where we are. Hello to Andy Welsh. Hi, Andy. Good to see you, buddy. And John as well. I'm not sure if I said hello to John, but hello, John, just in case I missed you. David, of course, as well. Hi, David. Good to see you. Not much going on around the country so far. Only that one goal on the table for Wolves at Anfield so far, but West Ham very much on the attack. I don't know how much of this you're seeing, gentlemen. Are you seeing anything at all at the moment?
Nothing.
Still struggling.
Okay. Can't get anything at all.
All right.
My security is just blocking everything that I'm clicking on, so I'm kind of stuck, and it's probably doing that for a reason. So I'm not going to turn my security off.
Very fair point indeed. Yes, very, very, very true. Anyway, there's 7 minutes gone in the game. West Ham, as I said, on the front foot so far. no real shots at goal, but 2 or 3 times we've looked to play it behind the Brighton defence. Certainly, the Hammers up for this one. We said, gentlemen, didn't we, right at the top of the show? It's been an incredible season for the Hammers. So while we're all unable to actually watch what's going on the game today at the Amex, should we have a look back at some of our favourite moments of the season? Excuse me. Of course, this is all a bit of a prelude, really, to the KUMB Awards, which is going to be open this week for voting. It's the 25th. We'll just see the ball's coming to West Ham's box. This is dangerous. Kurt Zuma's made a bit of a hash of a clearance, and the ball's just fallen to. I can't quite see who that is for Brighton, but he's had a really good opportunity to shoot. And fortunately for West Ham, he's put it pretty centrally, and it's a decent save low to his left by Lucas Fabianski. The first save he's had to make, first save any goalkeeper's had to make actually this afternoon, coming in the 8th minute. But a good chance for Brighton. Where were we? Oh yes, favourite moments of the season. Rio, let's start with you. Rather than talking of specific games and days out and that sort of thing, we're talking of actual moments, little bits in particular games, or that have occurred in press conferences or whatever. Is there anything that you can think of that sort of sticks in your mind this year?
The thing that sticks out completely from me, and it's something that shouldn't have happened, is Yarmolenko's goal and the fallout after that against Villa. Not only was it a really well taken goal, cracking strike, but given the circumstances, what he's going through and his nation is going through, and the way the whole crowd reacted, it's something I was privileged to watch, but I didn't have to watch it.
Yeah.
Because, the reaction was purely because of the emotion around what's going on in his own country.
Yeah, it's a great shout, actually. Very one of those very emotional moments, wasn't it, as a Hammer? Nick, how about yourself? I mean, obviously, apart from sharing a room with me in Frankfurt, what's out for you this season?
Still having nightmares, mate. Still having nightmares. I think it involves Yarmolenko. Just the sheer joy of his goal, not the Villa one, but the winner, v Seville.
Oh yeah.
That was actually more up there for me than the Villa goal because of what it meant and what it signified where we were going. Yeah. So it's on a similar vein to Rio, but just a different game. Same player, same reasons. But I think the occasion was much bigger, and he stood up and sent us through to play Lyon. And without that, we wouldn't have had a good week. Or I'd say weekend. It weren't a weekend. It might as well have been in Frankfurt. So for that, I'm eternally grateful.
Yeah, here, great stuff. I just wonder if he might feature in the KUMB Awards in 1 or 2 categories. Maybe something like Most Improved Player. Maybe given his renaissance towards the end of the season. There's two for me that stand out. 2 specific moments. The first would be I'm not sure exactly when it was. It could well have been after the game that you're talking about there, Nick. But remember when they did the interview with Pablo Fornals and he gave us a rendition of West Ham a Massive? It's just for me. I was watching that over and over and over again, and just in tears of laughter. If you haven't seen it, do have a look for it on Twitter. But that was my favourite. And of course, the other one has got to be Mark Noble's entrance onto the pitch last weekend, when of course he couldn't help but shed a tear or two. It was. There's a great chance we'll just break into this for a second because Lucas Fabianski's made a really good save. With his foot, cross has come in low, dangerous in the 6-yard box, and Fabianski stuck a right foot out just to keep the ball away from a Brighton player or two who are looming with intent a yard or 2 behind him. But Brighton still in possession. Just stick with this for a second because this looks dangerous for West Ham. Solly March has got the ball. He's played it short into the box where it's come back out. Brighton looking to get a cross in. Ball's been played down the right-hand channel behind Cresswell, but Cresswell's recovered to get a hold of his man, and Brighton cutting inside. Are we going to get a shot? The player's still coming across. Now this is dangerous. An extra man over. Shot's going to come in from Cucurella, but Vladimir Soufel's done really, really well to close it down. Good defending from West Ham there. Mark Noble. That moment last week, I think, when he came out and couldn't help be moved to tears by the reception from 60,000 Hammers at the end of that 18-year career. So let us know if you've got any favourite moments from the season. So it doesn't have to be a goal or you know, a specific game. It can be something, you know, quite funny. Like
I have a stream. I now have a stream, boys.
Excellent. Okay. Where are you, Nick?
Have you got one?
Yeah. Just the last one on the forum.
Trying to really work it. There's March with the cross.
There was one after mine, was there?
Yeah. There's another post just about the messenger, mate. But
really nice.
There you go. If you're struggling for,
you know why?
Chaps, actually.
I thought I was on the last page, but the Zoom window, right, was covering it up.
So I probably shouldn't say this, chaps, but if anyone is looking for a stream, if you go to the KUMB forum, to the general discussion page, there is the match streaming live links thread. I'm loath to send you there because we don't.
That challenge on 4 nails, though.
Yes. Where are you, Nick, on your stream? Whereabouts are you?
I'm at 12 minutes 27.
Okay, well, we're pretty close. I'm 12:47, so we're not a million miles away. Bit of a feisty challenge, that one.
You're right. Did you see that challenge on him? Are you all right after seeing that, Rio?
Webster, the defender.
Yeah, I'm having a bit of moment, obviously, but now my stream froze just as it happened. I'm back at 13:15.
Okay, bang on with me then. So that's pretty cool. Hi to Tim from the American Hammers joining us on the stream. Good to see you, Tim. Hope you're well over there, buddy. Long time no speak. Let us know how you're doing. Good to see you, Tim, of course, a guest on this show some time ago. Anyway, Brighton again attacking, seem to have grabbed the initiative from West Ham at the moment. Corello's with the ball on the left-hand side. The ball played in deep to the far post, but that's going to be too much for March, I think. And he's gone out for a goal for West Ham. 40 minutes gone. Brighton 0, West Ham United 0. Chelsea 1 up on Watford, says Craven. The opening goal at Stamford Bridge coming from Kai Havertz after 11 minutes. So it's Chelsea ahead. Wolves, of course, still winning at Anfield against Liverpool, which means Man City would be title bound. West Ham 0, Brighton 0, Palace 0, Manchester United 0, which means I think West Ham would finish 7th. Let's have a quick word about that, Rio. Have we been sort of slightly spoilt perhaps by being in the Europa League this season? And what do you think about going into the Conference League? I saw that Nice from Liga qualified yesterday. That's one of the clubs that will be playing. I think they finished 5th. But would you be happy about playing in the Conference League? And what do you think it would do in terms of West Ham being able to attract players this summer?
I think obviously the conference hasn't got to draw the 2 main competitions.
Yeah.
But I think I said in the last stream we did, if you look at the actual Conference League, once it gets down to the last 16, the last 8, etc., there are some incredibly good teams there. And I mean, I'm not shocked, but I think Tottenham have cheated themselves out of their potential, their first trophy in God knows how long.
Yeah.
But the deeper you go into this competition, the better the sides are. And if you can't tell me you wouldn't want to watch West Ham play the likes of Roma, the likes of Marseille, then, you know, they're probably better sides for me, in my opinion, to play than Frankfurt were, Seville, Lyon. One of the clubs who's qualified for the conference this year. I don't care what happens. If we draw them, I might be incapacitated by them, but I want someone to drag me up on a stretcher and make me go, because Fiorentina are qualified. And I've got a real soft spot for Fiorentina, dating back to the early 90s. I think that'd be a cracking side.
Yeah, some decent sides in there, isn't there? I mean, you touched on the Europa League, and I suppose, Nick, we should have a quick word or two about that final. Frankfurt winning the Europa League. Of course, the team that knocked us out in the semi-finals, beating Rangers on penalties last week. Did you see the game, first of all?
No.
You didn't watch it?
No interest now. We've gone. My interest was gone. That was it. I didn't find out until the following morning when I checked CFAX or whatever it's called nowadays, BBC website.
How did you feel about it when you saw the result? Was it kind of sort of relief that we'd been knocked out by the eventual winners, or did just, as you say, it just didn't matter at all by that point?
No, totally, completely indifferent to it. You know, we're not in it. I don't care. To me, it's just now another game of football.
Yeah. Rio, did you see the final last Thursday?
Yeah, I did. And I was of the opinion, and my boys said exactly the same thing. We both looked at that game, and we both come away from it feeling absolutely gutted.
Yeah,
because two bang average sides got through to that final.
Still up.
Had we kept 11 men on the pitch against Frankfurt, I think we would have won.
Well,
Yeah, it's a missed opportunity. But before the start of the season, if you'd have said, "Oh, we'll get to the semi-finals of the Europa League," I would have laughed at you. I didn't think we had it in us. But to get that far and that deep into the competition and to go out in the manner that we did is the most frustrating thing. But there are two incredibly poor sides. You know, probably the worst sides we could have come across.
It was, wasn't it? I mean, I watched most of the game. For some reason, I found myself back in Rangers, hoping they'd win. Of course, I mean, they had that glorious chance, didn't they? With about 2 or 3 minutes to go at the end of extra time, and they could have won it. But Kevin Trapp, the Frankfurt goalkeeper, who's been absolutely fantastic, pulled off that brilliant save. But you saw that, you watched that game, didn't you? And it was kind of bereft of any real quality, wasn't it? There wasn't any sort of great football from either team. And you know, I know exactly where you're coming from with that, you know, feeling of this should have been us, and probably more than this could have been us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the biggest thing to come out of it as well was you know, one of the Rangers players has had an incredibly good game.
Yeah,
he's not really stood out much of the season for me. He's been okay when I've seen them, but he's not been a world beater. And everyone's now going mental over him. And you know, Bassi, he looks a decent player.
Yeah,
but everyone's now throwing their eggs in a basket because of one performance in the Europa League final.
Nice.
Nick, there was I don't know if you've seen it, but we're just watching West Ham get the ball in the box. Jared Bowen's got the ball, but it's taken off his foot. So it was lining up to shoot, but couldn't get the shot away. We'll just stick with this for a second because Fornals has delivered the ball from the right hand side, but it's easy take for Brighton's keeper Sanchez, and it remains 0-0 with 19 minutes gone. Nick,
good.
Sorry, Rio.
Leeds have just taken the lead at Brentford.
No.
There you go. That big goal.
I think it could be offside though.
Oh, okay.
I'd give that as offside. VAR is checking it.
Yeah.
He's got to be off.
Should he had in mind?
Who scored, Rio?
Oh, no one if it's chalked off.
Yeah, it begins with G, got E. I couldn't quite catch that. I was just like, I saw the goal go in, and I wasn't impressed. But yeah, they're checking VAR.
Okay.
I think he's off. He's off by, you know, we've seen so many goals given against us worse than that. Yeah, he's off. He's off.
Lucky escape for Brentford and possibly Burnley as well. There has been a goal at Carrow Road we can tell you about. And it's for the visitors. Tottenham have scored. Kulusevski scoring after 16 minutes to put Tottenham 1 ahead, which pretty much would, I think a point there would be enough, wouldn't it, for them to finish in the Champions League spots this season. But anyway, we have bigger fish to fry here at the Amex. 20 minutes gone. Brighton nil, West Ham 0. Hammers still looking for their first shot of goal. Brighton have only managed one, but Jared Bowen's looking to deliver. Boy, it's a great ball over, and Cresswell's had a shot. It's on target, but it's blocked, and it's only come as far as Fornals. West Ham looking to tee up another chance. Ball's delivered in, looking for Michail Antonio. It's a good defensive clearance, but good stuff from Hammers. Getting closer, Nick. We're kind of sensing a goal yet for West Ham.
Well, then Fornals tries to make something.
Nick, are you with us?
What?
Are you with us?
Sorry, I was reading the match threads. I was miles away. Yeah.
I'll tell you what's happening on the match thread. What's the view so far from our fellow Hammers? Is everyone reasonably pleased?
Not a lot, really. I was reading, then I got distracted by somebody calling me into a Zoom meeting that I basically entirely forgot that I was doing.
Forgotten he was in.
It seems as professional as usual. No, not a lot, really, because it's not a lot happening, really.
Yeah.
Colours never run is predicting at some point Flex will score. Ironing Bald saying he dreamt Vlasic would be man of the match. Not a lot. Oh, I didn't realise that Brighton presented Mark Noble something at 3:10 on the pitch.
Yeah. Bobby Zamora, wasn't it?
Mark Noble got presented with Bobby Zamora.
I think so. Yeah, they gave him away for nothing.
Really?
Said you keep him.
That's going to be a bit tricky to keep on your mantelpiece.
Yeah. Nice touch though from Brighton. Nice to see.
See, I've now got this vision. You know, you see these sometimes at holiday parks. These massive, great, big, oversized deck chairs.
Yeah.
Well, seeing like, and it looks small. When I'm seeing Bobby Zamora on a massive oversized sideboard, just swinging his legs. Cup of tea in one hand. Half and half West Ham Brighton shirt in the other.
Did you see the footage of what the French lads in our team gave Mark Noble yesterday? I think yesterday or Friday.
I didn't, mate. No. What was that?
Apparently, they all chipped in and they got him a very large, no, very nice collage of 3 pictures of Mark in a massive frame unit. Now, Mark drives one of them Range Rovers things, doesn't he?
Right.
And he was struggling to get that in the boot.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll try and forward it on the footage. But yeah,
right.
Very nice gesture from the guys. You know, and it's a lovely montage of photos. I mean, I would love it myself, but he was struggling to get it in the boot. So I don't know if you can fit Zamora and that oversized picture in there too. I think it's going to be a bit of manoeuvring, maybe a bit of leg going over the back of the shoulder and that. You know?
Well, I think to be fair, I mean, Mark don't seem to be the sharpest tool in the box. He's probably still got that Fisher Price red and blue thing that you put the shapes in that he's working on. Now the ball that kids have.
Yeah.
Speaking of people that aren't very good at getting things right, do you remember the thread on KUMB, Aging Hammer wanting to post a picture and how that went? It was absolutely hilarious. I've actually just had a PM from him, and he's signed up to Instagram.
Right.
So if we could have I'm going to try and arrange to get a camera to see just how he posts a picture, because I think it'll be quality entertainment. Because he's still never, all these years, has never, ever cracked out post a picture on KUMB. And it's on Instagram. It's going to be entertainment galore.
Well, we wish Aging all the best in his task there. It's funny enough, I still get asked quite frequently by email and stuff, how do you post a picture on the forum? And of course, I think people expect us to host the pictures, but we don't. You have to just put in a URL from somewhere else and do it that way.
Back to the Europa League and the Conference League.
Yes.
Yeah. Should we get back on topic, as they say?
Well,
I think the Conference League for us, although we got to the semi-final, I think the Conference League will be better for us. My reasoning behind that is that our immaturity, lack of experience in European football showed throughout our run. That we let the poo-housery and stuff like that from the European teams and their snide that they do.
Nick, can I just cut in quickly? Sorry, buddy, we've got a lot of feedback coming in again. I'm guessing it's your stream.
Oh, you know why? I ain't got my microphone on my desk and it's right next to the speaker.
Yeah, that's probably done it. Yeah,
that's better.
Yeah, that's good. Go on, carry on. Sorry.
And I think this Europa League will be the Conference League will be a lovely little learning curve for us, because they're not crap sides as we get further on in, and we just build up the experience, because I think our inexperience showed throughout our run, especially with European refs as well. And just so long as we keep Cresswell as far away from the team as possible when we're playing Europe, and I think we'll do all right.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I just wonder. I mean, Rio's made the point about some of the teams that made the last 4 or 8 of the competition. I'm not sure there was that much between them in terms of quality. Teams like Roma, I'm sure would have given Frankfurt and Rangers a good run for their money, if not even better. So I do wonder, because of course I think next year the teams that get knocked out of the Europa League still come into the Conference League, don't they? I know they're stopping that in 2 or 3 years' time. There was this new this change when it goes to 36 teams in each competition, or the Champions League at least. The 8 teams that play in the playoff will not go down into the lower competition. They're going to be straight out of Europe. But I don't think that's the case next year. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much between it. And yeah, as I say, the reason I asked Rio that question about do you think it might affect players' views is I just wonder how the players look at it. Do they think that the Conference League? I mean, if that's how Spurs treated it, do we think that's how the players are looking at it as well? But I suppose you could make that case, couldn't you, for the Europa League as well? Players looking at that and thinking, it's not the Champions League, it's not really where we want to be.
I think what it was is because it was the first year of the competition.
Yeah,
a lot of teams went in there with a bit of a dismissive attitude.
Okay.
Tottenham most notably. But I think the fact that the 4 teams that got through to the semi-finals, there's teams that got through to the quarters, so all of a really good calibre. Leicester.
Rio, who were the last 4 in that? Can you remind us?
It was Roma, Leicester, Feyenoord, and wasn't it Marseille?
Marseille as well.
I think it was the last 4. But the worst team out of the 4 of them is Leicester.
Yeah. Good sides.
Yeah.
And were they any? I think that's a fair point. Then in that case, were they any worse than or any better than the last 4 in the Europa League? I think it would. I
think they're better than the last one in Europa. Yeah. In terms of reputation and history, I mean, Frankfurt have only won 1 European competition before this week. Rangers haven't won one for 50 odd years.
Yeah.
So the teams who are involved and still involved at the moment, far better calibre than the ones that got through to the last 4 of the Europa League.
Yep.
Obviously, we need to be busting the ball to get in the Europa League then.
Yeah. Go on. Why?
Because it's obviously better quality.
Yeah.
In the conference, I am being a bit tongue in cheek and sarcastic because the game's crap and there's not a lot going on. So I'm just trying to liven things up a bit.
Dan B says we need a good run in Europe to help with our coefficient rating. We'll be using the national rating again next season, so potentially 3 in Europe again, but pot 3, in Europa again, but maybe pot 1 in the Conference League if we were to get through. Of course, we were seeded below. Who was it? Zagreb were the top seed, weren't they? In our group, and then was it Genk who were above us? Yeah. And Vienna were the bottom ranked side, weren't they? So. That's an interesting point, actually, Dan. Certainly would be something that helped us, although, of course, we didn't have many problems this year. 29 minutes gone. Brighton still, as you can tell, as Nick has pointed out, the reason we're banging on about the Europa League, the Conference League, and all sorts apart from what's going on at the Amex is because, well, there's not really anything going on at the Amex. As we approach the half-hour mark, Arsenal scored against Everton anyway. Everton, of course, won't worry about that now that Frank Lampard has kept them up. Liverpool have equalised against Wolves. Nick, what did you make of Frank Lampard's celebrations for maintaining the position he kept Everton in, based upon where they were when he joined them?
I think they were on par with probably what his celebrations would be if he'd won a hamper in a raffle.
Oh no, he would have celebrated far better than that. He loves a bit of Tim Tam, does Frank?
Yeah. As the value, the stuff that's the same shape as a pear, similar to the Prince's stuff.
I mean, someone made the point that he kept Derby in the same place they were when he took them over. Same with Chelsea, and now he's done the same at Everton. Rio, do you get the feeling that Everton might be struggling a bit again next season?
Unless there's a huge and massive investment in there, I think there could be. I think what they were slightly hampered with, it was just the appointment of Benitez, wasn't it? It sort of put the whole club on a downer, from the fans down. And, it's very, very disrespectful of a man who's won a Champions League and has done so well elsewhere. But everyone just sent down tools as soon as he joined.
Liverpool connection, though, isn't it? He could have been the best manager in the world.
Yeah,
he's won Liverpool the Champions League. That was never going to work, ever, ever, ever. It's like Neil Harris coming to manage here. We'd never take to in a million years. We think it was bad when Allardyce came and the way a lot of the fans didn't take to him because of his style of football. If he'd managed, that's kind of, I think, the equivalent of if Allardyce was a former Millwall manager that had brought him success and then come to us. That I think is the equivalent of Benitez going to Everton. It was just a stupid move all round. Don't know what their owners were thinking, but I've got more time for Everton than I have for the other side of Stanley Park. So, but now I'm equally as ambivalent because of Frank Lampard connections. So,
coming back to this season, Andy Welsh says the only disappointment of this season is the end of the Loro Fred on KUMB. Is he retiring?
He's last weekend.
Oh, he's packed it in.
No,
he's running off into the sunset with Mike Dean and Kevin Friend.
Oh, what a...
Well, when I say running,
Ah,
You've seen John
what
Moss
a
and Gary and Friend.
lovely-
They're not running, they're hobbling. Probably in a wheelbarrow in John Moss's case.
How long has that thread been running? It must be nearly 10 years, mustn't it, on the KUMB forum?
2007, I think.
Is it really? Wow,
Yes.
15 years.
Hammers Lafford started it, didn't he? He occasionally mentions it in our WhatsApp group that he started that thread.
I think it's the first ever thread that deserves a testimonial.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah. We should bring
I'm
back
trying
some
to
other
find
threads
it.
just for
Can't be that
the-
important. It's on the first page.
What I love about those threads is if you look back at the people that were posting on them, and it's almost like a where are they now thing, isn't it? There's so many posters that are no longer around that you think, well, what happened to him? What happened to her? Where did they go? There's a whole string of them. Of course, Hammers Laffers is still around. The thread starter.
Thursday, December the 20th, 2007.
Wow,
So there we go. 212 pages.
that's pretty
I
good.
think I made my first ever post on KUMB in that thread.
Did you really?
I did.
That moved by Laura's predictions. So I guess they'll have someone taking over the role then. I mean, but are they going to find anyone as equally antsy as Laura? It's going to be a tough one.
No, if that's the case, I think we will have to kill the thread off for the sake of the forum. Because it can't be the same. It can't be. It deserves to go in the Hall of Fame once Laura retires.
Yeah.
Is my humble opinion. Because it won't be
Good
the
shout.
same.
Good shout. Alexei Babak posting from Ukraine, apparently on the live chat, says West Ham forever with love from Ukraine. Right back at you. Alexei, God bless to you and yours. Hope you're keeping safe over there, or at least as safe as possible. Yes, it kind of makes me wonder what the longest running threads are now on KUMB. I know I do dip into the forum occasionally to do this, but it's been about a year since I did the last one. I'm kind of wondering what the oldest threads are now. Any thoughts or suggestions, chaps? That might be.
Surely that must have been it.
Yeah, I can't think of any that are still. There's probably some that are still on the forum right at the back end. I would have thought on general discussion.
Yeah,
but none that are still that are active.
What about a couple in the snug? There's Romford's the famous persons thread, or
no? That I remember that one being started, and the Laffers one was actually that was started before I joined.
Okay.
So the last thread on page 61 of general discussion, is Player of the Month, August 2008.
That'll be a poll, though, won't it, Nick? I think
It will. I don't think there's any other threads that are. I mean, the last few pages of polls. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, no. For some reason, polls don't disappear off there. They hang around for perpetuity. They never disappear. So
the last non was actually. See, they fall off the ball quicker than I remember. I think. I
think it's a year. I think it's 365 days is the cut-off point since the last post.
Yeah. Well, that'll make sense. Thursday, May the 20. Well, Friday, May the 21st, 21 was the last post made in an Athletic article on the 10-11 season.
Wow.
Relegation season. And that was the thread was started 20th of May, 21. So, yeah, I think Laffers is walking away with this.
Could be. I'll have a look in a minute if I get a moment. If I can drag myself away from this enthralling game we're watching on the screen. Brighton actually have a chance here. Paul's played down the right. It's a terrible cross in line with pretty much everything else we've seen so far. And Declan Rice is able to clear it. Still 0-0. Arsenal scored
a contender. Sorry.
Yes, yeah. Please do.
The non-racist crap joke thread was started in 2010.
Oh.
And 445 pages, and I don't remember anything out of that.
I don't think I've ever looked at that thread, to be honest. Maybe to remove one, I probably shouldn't say that, given the nature of the content. But quite a few in the snug that probably fall under that. Nick, you're a bit of a snugger, aren't you? Don't you reside in there quite frequently?
I might do, yes. I'm just messaging Laffers actually to let him know that he is topic of conversation and his thread. He's very proud of that, you know. One of he does put it down as one of his life achievements. not saving lives and things like that. Just that thread.
Yes. My member of our emergency services, of course, Hammers Laffers, who was someone we're very proud of to call him one of our own on the forum. 37 minutes gone, still no goals. West Ham still haven't had a shot on goal, I don't think yet. Gentlemen, have I missed anything?
No, I mean I found another stream which is a bit more stable.
All right.
I kind of wish it wasn't, because I was rather enjoying the diversion of actually watching the game.
Yeah, bumped into. I think it's the second oldest thread that we've got. The one that Romford Chase started.
Yep.
And then I think the jokes one. Which
the things that irritate you is about a year older than the joke one.
Yeah. And then the little things in life to make you smile. Oh, that's 2011. That's actually quite old. I've always find it funny, the little things that irritate you thread, 1,777 pages. Little things that make you smile thread, 638.
Yeah, it says it all, doesn't it, really? Probably says a lot about us as West Ham fans as a group, I suppose.
But of course, the one we can't forget, although it's not that old, it is only not even 5 years old yet. 277 pages, probably the most valuable thread on KUMB is the mental health thread.
Indeed.
Something we should be rightly proud of.
Yeah, incredibly valuable thread, and has given a lot of people a lot of assistance and help over the years, and continues to be incredibly popular. Yeah, something we're all, I think, very proud of to be associated with that particular thread. If you're of course experiencing any issues of mental health, why not jump on that thread? It's in the snug. You'll find it in there. Hammers reaching out to each other, helping out. It's been, as I say, a very valuable resource over the years for a lot of people, a lot of our own people.
We have some contenders after Lafford thread.
Right.
The boxing thread, Sunday the 6th of January 2008.
Okay.
And the official betting thread, November the 11th, 2008.
Yeah.
They're hiding in the sports bar.
Yes. Yes, one or two.
They were once in News Up, weren't they?
They were, yeah, that's right. They were. We've had a few switches around. Might even have another revamp of the forum structure actually this summer, and we'll see what happens, because there's one or two forums that don't get used that often. Maybe incorporate those into one or two others. I'm just actually I'm having a look around. I'm trying to log into the forum database now, so I can just have a look and see, have a definitive look at what the oldest threads are. Here we go. I'll come back to you in just a second. But we've scored, Jenna. We've scored.
Go on, you irons.
We've scored. Sorry, there's a game going on, and Michael Antonio has just put West Ham ahead. What's the celebration like? Yeah, like that one, Mickey. Like that. Michael Antonio's got. Did you see that at all? Just saw it busting.
No, I was too busy looking elsewhere.
Rio.
I'm at 39.
Oh,
40.
just seen it. Seen it. Was that from outside the box?
Might have been. Don't know. Let's have a look.
Oh, it's on the. Oh, what a strike! What a strike!
So let's have a look. It's a short throw.
It's on the cusp of it, isn't it? It's right on the edge.
Boom!
It is. I'm technically that is outside the box. God, what a strike! So the ball's coming short throwing from Sufal, I think. A bit of a poor touch first of all by Antonio, but he managed to keep the ball under control. Turned onto his. Is that his left foot as well? So I mean, this could be a complete miracle. This could be a Michael Antonio goal from outside the box and a shot of his left foot. Now there's a VAR check going on. Kevin Friend's talking to Antonio and
disallow it because the other two, their players fell over. You what?
Antonio's walking away looking rather disconsolate. Not quite sure what's going on. No, it's been given. I think I'm hearing from the commentator that it's been given. The game's restarted. West Ham are ahead, everybody. So we're doing a bet. And I can tell you also, at the same time at Selhurst Park, something's happened. Rio, do you want to bring us up to date?
I wish I knew.
Crystal Palace 1, Man United 0.
Come on.
Wilfried Zaha, pretty much at the same time as Michael Antonio scored. Well, actually, it's not. It's 3 minutes early. We just failed to notice it completely. Wilfried Zaha scored for Palace. Palace lead Manchester United 1-0. West Ham lead Brighton and Hove Albion 1-0, which means, Nick, in terms of the Premier League table, what does it mean?
It means that we're currently sitting in 6th place. As things stand, have some of that.
There you go. Got to love a bit of football, haven't you? How quickly things change. West Ham, as Nick rightly points out, currently in the live table, 6th in the Premier League and Europa League bound. Rio, it can only go wrong from here, which means it probably will.
Yeah, that's me saying I want to play Fiorentina, trying to build myself up. And he does that of all times. Mikel Antonio, what are you doing? Left foot way outside the box, well, way outside the box, but an inch
at least an inch. Yeah.
Yeah, for him, that's way outside the box. What a strike. No. At the moment, things looking rather peachy, aren't they?
It's kind of all gone in our favour. We'll try and find out a bit more about that Zaha goal for you. Of course, if you've seen it, let us know on the live stream. Now, what's Kevin Friend up to here? He's having a word with Aaron Cresswell about something.
I was going to send him off.
Yeah, he's having a word in his show. I'm not watching the game. I'm trying to look at this. Was it a late? Let's have a little look. The ball's played short. Yeah, well, I mean, it's a foul. He's caught Marsh. I'm not quite sure why Friend's having a word with him. He's just barged him and sent him to the ground. But anyway, it's 1-0 to West Ham, chaps. We're going to have to change our score completely now.
Let's just breathe. Yeah. It's nice to actually have something positive to play for on the last day of the season.
Yeah,
that can't be underestimated, and we can finish 6th 2 seasons in a row. That's just unheard of. Literally unheard of.
Well, it is. It is exactly unheard of. We've never done it before. Goals elsewhere. As I said, Liverpool have equalised at Wolves. Quick roundup. Man City 0, Aston Villa 1. There's an interesting scoreline for you. Burnley 0, Newcastle 1. So goals affecting the top and the bottom of the table. Though that, of course, is very much secondary in our thoughts at the moment. Arsenal 2, Everton 0. Chelsea still beating Watford 1-0. Norwich 2-0 down against Tottenham. But the big news coming from the South Coast at the moment, and not just that West Ham are winning 1-0, but this could be the first time in 10 attempts that we beat our old bogey side, Rio.
Has anyone seen the irony of the scorer for Villa against City?
Go on. Who was it?
Cash.
Was it really Matty Cash?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. But, what a fantastic strike by Antonio. He took a rather hefty challenge about 3 or 4 minutes beforehand, which, this stage of the season, you do worry. But he's going to be absolutely delighted with that. As we said, just outside the box, only just. But what a fantastic effort. And, things are looking good. Things looking really good. If we finish 6th next year and all, and it's 6-6-6, do we get relegated for being part of the devil worshipping crew? Is that their new Premier League ruling? Or
that's probably one for our friend Tim in the States. Tim, of course, very.
I have a message from Hammers Laffers.
Yes, and he says,
I've just been watching this back on the YouTube. I'm as proud of that thread as I am with my National Hero Award. I'm gutted it's over.
Rightly so. Now we've got a hammer on the deck. It's Craig Dawson. Once again, it looks like the medical team are looking at his right ankle. I do apologise to everyone watching us on the stream because we're not providing much information from the game. Where we're spending more time looking at KUMB threads from yesteryear at the moment and other stuff. But Mark Noble's warming up. Not sure he fancies a stint at centre half, but maybe that would mean Declan Rice dropping in and Noble coming into the middle if a change was required. We are in the final seconds of the first half, deep into added on time. Well, I say deep into added on time. There's only 1 minute of it, and we've played 51 seconds, much of which has been spent assessing the injury to Craig Dawson. But I'm sure that the half-time whistle will follow very, very soon. We'll have a quick look back at the first half. Not there's been an awful lot to look back, to be fair. I think that might be. Nick, was that West Ham's first shot? I think it may well have been.
What is the game of football going on?
Apparently somewhere.
I think I'm going to say yes, just because I might look right there.
I think it was their second. I think didn't Cresswell have that effort?
Oh yeah. The blocked effort, wasn't it, Rio? Yeah.
Yes, sorry, mate.
No, that's I don't know if they count those as efforts on goal. Do they block shots? I'm not sure how they do it these days.
Oh, Liverpool have equalised.
Yep.
Boo.
We called that one about 5 minutes ago, Nick. Come on, do.
Oh, did you? That's the last day of the season. Don't expect me to take this seriously and pay attention.
Not that it's any great concern of ours at the moment. Where does that leave the title? Man, do Liverpool need to win?
Liverpool have got to win, and City draw. Or
At the moment, they're level on points, but City's got a 5-goal swinging goal difference.
Okay. All right. Interesting stuff.
Oh, no.
Of course, Man
I
City
didn't
are
realise
losing.
that. Oh, look, see, I'm miles behind you.
Yeah, Man City are losing. So they had a point advantage. Did they, Rio, at the start of today?
Yeah.
So they're level on points now, but they've got a better goal difference. Interesting stuff. There's half time anyway. Half time called at the Amex Stadium. We go into the break ahead and unless there's any late changes at Selhurst Park, in 6th spot in the Premier League table, in the live Premier League table as things stand. Kevin Friend standing there with hands on hips, looking like he's suitably pleased with himself for his first half performance. Michail Antonio scoring West Ham's goal, not only scoring West Ham's goal, Rio, but scoring it from the outside of the penalty box and with his left foot.
Yeah, and it's got to be contender for goal of the season as well, isn't it? It was an amazing strike, you've got to say it. Mikel's, I think, never scored outside the box other than for Jamaica. And that didn't happen until this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a strike. Left foot, bang, quality strike. I feel a bit guilty to everyone out there because we had stream issues earlier. The game was awful after that for a bit. And we've only got sparked in the light for the last 5 minutes. So the usual kind of insightful analysis of football we deliver has gone out the window today. But it's the last day of the season. No one cares.
Party time, isn't it? Party atmosphere at the KUMB studios this afternoon. All three of them, of course. Quick stats, first half stats. Well, according to the BBC, we had 3 shots. Brighton 48% possession to West Ham. Oh no, it's changed. It's changed as I speak. How does that happen? They finished the game 3 minutes ago. But anyway, it's just changed to Brighton 49% possession. Someone obviously entering some last minute data into the computer there at BBC HQ. 49% possession to Brighton, 51% to West Ham. 5 shots from Brighton, 1 on target. 3 shots by West Ham, apparently. 1 on target. 1 corner to Brighton. West Ham having 4. That goal, Nick, Michail Antonio. We say the club do their player awards about 2 or 3 weeks before the end of the season, which I always think is a little bit premature because if something like this does happen, you get a wonder goal at the end. It doesn't get included. There was one. Radikovic scored now. Would it have been at Everton on the final day of the season for us? It was a superb goal from about 30 yards out. When would that have been? 2008, 2009, something like that? Rio, you're better than me at things like this. Would that
I think that was 2008. I know that. Yeah, a lot of my friends had a hunt with me that day because we was 3-1 down towards the end of the game, and they was at the match. I couldn't make it.
Yeah,
and there was 3 of us watching it in a pub in Rush Green.
Yeah,
and it was an awful game after that Kovacs goal. We capitulated as we usually do at Goodison Park.
Yes. Yeah.
So to wind them up because I knew they'd left, we all decided between the 3 of us that we'd text them saying we've only just scored and pull 1 back.
Yeah.
Then I said we've only just gone and equalised.
Yeah.
And then we sent a message going, we're in front, we've done it. It's unbelievable. Goodison Park of all places. Apparently he was in the car park jumping around like lunatics. And half hour later I got a phone call calling me every name under the sun.
So you do get those late goals. And Nick, for you, the Antonio one, a possible contender for goal of the season? Does it sneak in there?
It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a fair share. I'll have to see what he's up against first.
All right.
Because I can barely remember 10 minutes ago, let alone that.
Hobo
Chanka says that he said on the chat that his stream is almost as far behind as I am.
Okay. How rude.
I know. It's shocked to see the abuse we have to put up with here hiding behind their bloody keyboards.
Terrible, isn't it? Terrible. Look, we've got a fourth member of the team who's joined us on the stream. He's down at the Amex this afternoon. He's down he's looking pleased as punch, actually, it's fair to say. Brighton and Hove Albion nil, West Ham United 1, Crystal Palace 1, Manchester United 0. As things stand, it's looking good. How's it looking from the South Coast?
Yeah, I hope you can hear me okay. Game of few chances. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Game of few chances.
Just about, yeah.
Yeah, game of few chances, but most of it seems to have been played up the other end, which I've got great view from. As ever, as the way seasons to get older, I get broke behind the goal this second. But I think we're in control. And it's looking fairly good. I would say that I have seen one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen at football match today. Really something to be done about this. Should we still there or not? Let's have a look. Pinky's outfit. Can you see that?
Where is he? Which one? I can't make him out.
Which one?
Can you see him okay there?
I can't make him out. What's he wearing? Rio, okay, I've spotted Rio. What's he wearing?
Pink lycra. I kid you not. Pink lycra. And he's looking at me as if I'm wearing. I've got a jacket and a shirt on. I kid you not. Pink is wearing pink lycra. And I've sent you a photo on the mods forum. If you want to go and put that up, just to let the poor view. There are some things that a man of my age should never have to see, and pink lycra is definitely one of them. Anyway, it's not a pleasant sight, but no, I've had a beautiful weekend.
Okay.
Just a bit of light cloud now to take the edge off the sun, which has been beating down in my face. But came down last night with a beautiful girlfriend and had a lovely day here. She's gone back up home and bumped into lots of very nice people. Splendid author Brian Williams. Had a night with him lunchtime, and Jim Grant from the Stop Hammer Time podcast, quite good to him as well. It's all very pleasant, all very nice, and I mean, you've got I hope you've got a decent stream or something. I mean, as you're looking from that.
No, we've got absolutely terrible streams known. To be fair, we barely. No, we've seen most of the game.
Oh, hello, Jeannie. I've got Jeannie with me now. Hello, Jeannie. All right, yeah. So that's Jeannie, one of the regulars on the podcast. We're live in this, so I hope you don't mind. So I've got.
Hello, Jeannie. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah. So Graham says you're actually doing well. So I've got it all on headphones. So. But sorry. As I say, I hope you said the stream's a bit iffy, but it's looked pretty one way. Although not many chances, I think, probably fair to say.
No.
I've seen you. You've just put up Pinky's photo.
well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Pinky in it's like Cerise. What team is that?
Don't excuse it by saying Cerise. It's pink.
It's obscene. It's quite obscene, whatever it is. But is it a cricket top? I can't quite make it out.
To be honest, I didn't want to look at it too closely. I know there's a certain sort of thing about Brighton that everyone goes on about and all that. And, it's their own, live, let live. But I think you can actually sort of join in with the ethos just a little bit too much. And I think that's what people
astonishing effort from Pinky. It's got to be said, Rio. That's something else.
I think it was in the thigh. It's not becoming, is it, really?
Yeah, there's a difference between astonishing and nauseating, though, I think.
How's the crowd down there today? No, is everybody behaving themselves, having a good day? Is it like a party atmosphere?
Yeah, I've had there's a bit of a party atmosphere. Until today, I don't think I'd ever managed to actually hit a beach ball that's been bounced around, and
right.
There must be about 4 or 5 doing the rounds, and I've managed to pass on each one of them. So there's a first statistician. And it's a party atmosphere. The news about Palace's goal sort of came up, and that boring chant that Palace do sort of came up in a degree of irony. Of course, it won't go down too well here either because things stay the same. I think Palace will overtake Brighton and finish above them. So, yeah, interesting either way, isn't it? So,
yeah, very much so. Okay. Well, look, we're gonna dip off for a couple of minutes. I need to go and wet the whistle, as it were. The voice is going a bit.
I've come on at full time alongside the schedule.
We shall see you at full time. Nick's already decided to dive off. Without a word, so no doubt we'll see him again soon. And Rio and I will also go and just have a breather in a second. But are you? I mean, what's your overall assessment? Quickly, Noam, with the first half, you happy with what you've seen down there?
We've been in control. I think there was one point where there was a miscontrol ball left for a shot that Fabianski got well behind.
Yeah.
Nothing really there to concern us, which is always worrying in itself. Because then something happens that concerns us, but. They've been in control of the game without really sort of creating dozens and dozens of chances. I've only seen it the once. Strike from Antonio looked a bit of a corker, but as I say, seeing it from 100 yards away through the back of the net, it wasn't as clear as I'd like it to have been. But it looked good from here. It didn't look better on the screen.
Well, I mean, we were talking about the goal and saying how it was technically it was outside the box. I think it was Rio. We guesstimated it was about 6 centimeters, I think, outside the line. But good enough to say, and a left footer as well, of course. No.
Yeah. As I say, I mean, you have the advantage of me there because it's 100 yards away and staring through the net and where the goalpost is as well, which. Not got the greatest of the something just warming up outside. But yeah, it's so far a very pleasant day, and it's a nice end to what's been a rather splendid weekend, I think, for me so far.
Awesome. That's what we like to hear. Well, look, we're going to take a break for a couple of minutes, gentlemen. Just going to dip off. We'll be back very, very shortly. Anyway, 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 5, in time for the start of the second half. But half time at the MX Stadium, it's Brighton and Hove Albion 0, West Ham United 1. Looking very, very good for the Hammers at the moment. Of course, with Palace leading Manchester United. Hammers currently 6th in the Premier League Live League table. Can they hang on in there for the second half? We'll find out very soon. We'll see you on the other side. Until then, take care. We'll see you in just a moment.
Hi.
This is the KUMB Interlude. Have some relaxing music live on YouTube.
Ball out.
Still bored. Still bored. You're watching the Eyes of Mother Brown Interlude on KUMB TV.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to the second half. Brighton and Hove Albion versus West Ham United. Sorry, gents, still eating. Half-time snack.
I did. Oh, go on. I did try to have some entertainment on. I put some. I did try to have some entertainment and some piped music, but I'm not sure if it worked. Like the sort of stuff you get in Tesco's.
Good afternoon. Oh, okay. I thought you it'd be like I thought you was talking about like the pan pipes or something like that from.
Yeah, it was. It was jazz, man. It was a nice little bit smooth.
Smooth FM.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a project for the summer. If one of us does magic tricks during the break, and someone else does the old Peruvian pan pipes, we got another string to our bow here. Keep the people in.
Our talent list is endless.
Yeah.
It certainly is. It certainly is. Have we started? Is the game has the game begun?
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. Oh, it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Somewhere Brighton have got a free kick, I think, outside the box, and not a lot's coming of it really.
There has been a change. Brighton have bought on Neil Mopay for Zoom.
Okay.
I'm trying to find out if there's anything else.
I'm currently being shown Man City versus Aston Villa on my stream, which is not very helpful. So, gentlemen, it's over to you for any updates that should occur. If that's the case. I've got a day's end stream for some reason. They're not currently showing West Ham. But anyway, I mean, at half time,
Brighton scored apparently.
Who scored?
Brighton.
Oh, okay.
So that's 1-1.
Yeah, we've missed Brighton score. I've just seen it said here.
That's
not good. That's
Steve
not
Palmer's
good.
fault. Unbeaten in 21 when leading at half time, and then they score.
Unfortunately, we can't tell you anything about it because, well, I can't. Have you guys got any pictures?
Yeah. I'll just say that Lucas Fabianski has not covered himself in glory there.
Yeah.
Ball's come in from the left-hand side. Almost like the move almost died down. It filtered out towards the right. The tackler's cut in, fired it in the near post, and it's squaring through Fab. Not a great piece of goalkeeping whatsoever. And, yeah, we're back to square one again, lads.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, that was shocking from Fab again.
Yeah, he's got a massive hand to it, but it's gone through him. Very poor piece of keeping.
It was that jazz that I was playing, you know what, and it's made them too relaxed.
Yep.
I'm just trying to see. It was Veltman who's got the goal. 50 minutes. He's credited as scoring in to level the score, and that, of course, is bad news for West Ham and now Europa League aspirations. Anyway, because it means we go back to 7th below Manchester United. Palace doing us a turn, and this is, I've got to say, gentlemen, this is what I feared, is that Palace would do their bit as far as our cause was concerned, but we might struggle to beat Brighton again. It was looking so good until half-time, but it's only taken 5 minutes. And there it is again. How many times lately, chaps, have we come out at the start of the second half and conceded a goal lately? Seems to have happened time and time again recently.
Far too often. It was also a bit of an incident last week where I was sitting above below her. Gentleman to my left and the guys behind him have been having a bit of a running debate all season about Lucas Fabianski.
Yeah.
And as has been happening of recent, it almost came to blows. There's a lot of yelling, a lot of shouting. Obviously, the penalty save last week did him a lot of favours. But, this is back to square one in terms of that argument. Next season could be interesting if he's still the number one choice. But, yeah, that was a shocker, Lucas. Absolute shocker.
Interesting. Do you mean pulling out not very much large quantities of hair out?
Yeah, I mean, it was I know it was a very exciting game last week, but and Brighton almost score again.
Yeah, they're all over us now. Little
tickle through between the two centre halves, and Danny Welbel almost got on the end of that one. We're a bit full to see here. We're a bit disjointed, not picking up the runners.
That was Sufo having a ball through his legs there weren't exactly pretty either.
Yeah, and Dawson, Souček missed the initial ball and Dawson missed the next one. Yeah, not great at all.
No.
Bit of action elsewhere I could actually contribute to. Everton have scored at Arsenal.
And Liverpool just scored as well.
And Liverpool scored, but has it been ruled out? I'm seeing the goal's been ruled out by Craven on the live stream. So we'll keep an eye on that one. But interesting battle at the top of the table. Neither of the two teams in with a chance of winning the title today, winning currently at present, unless of course that Liverpool goal is allowed to stand. West Ham not winning though. This is the most important thing as far as we're concerned. It was all looking so good at half time, but back to customary, or it seems to be customary in terms of our recent performances anyway. Poor start to the second half has cost us dearly. Rio, I guess we're going back to that conversation about the Conference League again now. We can turn our attentions back to that.
Yeah, I'll trip the Florence back on. I'm well happy. Now, about this, whatever competition we're in, it's still a mark of improvement. We qualified Europe 2 years on the bounce. As we said, if we're doing up in the Conference League, the calibre of the sides there is still great. Once you get past that initial group stage, which I'm much more confident in our abilities to do that.
Yeah,
it's a great competition. There isn't a lot of difference between the calibre of the clubs in there. So, European football 2 years on the bench is sending out a positive message to players who want to join us, and also sending out a positive message to the fans because we're actually on the move here.
Yeah, unlike my stream, which is just consistently down since half time. So I can't help. Epic hash time joining into the Fabianski debate, saying Fab needs to go. He's just not good enough anymore. Nick, this is of course something you've been saying for a while now. You're not his greatest fan.
No, I don't think he should go. I think there needs next season to be a changing of the guard, though. Have I just sent the wrong thing? I've just sent you a link to a stream. It's on the main chat on the Zoom here.
Thank you. Mine's just come back up, by the way. Thank you, but I shall keep that as a backup just in case.
But yeah, I don't. He's making too many mistakes for me. He has done all season. Now it could be argued that he's made some saves that have kept us in games, but you know that's the job of a keeper. But and it gets you thinking, doesn't it? How many points we've dropped this season due to individual errors, and I suppose you can even count the Europa League on that with the individual errors. You know, the Cresswell sending offs last week, the own goal. Today, Fab not covering himself in glory, and there's been other times as well this season where we've conceded important goals through lapses of concentration or just completely getting it wrong. And if we want to be up at the top half of the table, if we want to, I know it sounds maybe a bit, I don't want to sound Spursy.
Sorry, mate. Yeah,
I don't want to sound Spursy.
Back to the right-hand side. Sufel gets a great cross in. Brighton defender just gets a foot on before I think it was Fornells at the back post or Antonio, but it goes over the bar and it's a corner to West Ham, I believe.
And we played the corner quite short. Bowen's running into the box and he had it nicked off of his toe. If he'd got connection on that, that would have been 2-1. But, you know, if we want to challenge this top six, which, let's face it, we're capable of doing, we need to cut out the errors because they are costing us points. And I don't mean it come across all Spursy, but if that's our ambition, if that's what we want to do, that's what we need to do. We need to cut out these individual errors and just increase that little bit of quality, like in goal. Because Fab has got a wicket in him every now and again, and it's a bit too common that he's having them. And he'd be just switch. We don't need another keeper. Just switch Areola and him round.
Do you think, Nick, that we should go all out to bring him in on a permanent basis then? Of course, West Ham do retain the option to extend his loan by another year, but do you think we should bring him in on a permanent basis to ensure he's our keeper for years to come?
Yeah, he's the right age. He is the right age. He's still, I think, he's still younger than what Fab was when we brought him in, and he's not a poor keeper. I know people going down the road on the forum saying we should sign Nick Pope, but you know I think that we've got a perfectly more than adequate keeper in Areola. We don't need to be going to spend a fair chunk of our budget on Nick Pope because at the end of the day, he's going to cost a lot of money if we're going to prize him away from Burnley. He's one of those keepers that wouldn't look out of place in a top 3 or 4 side, in my opinion. So the next best thing is we get a keeper from the next tier down. And I don't think we will get better than Areola if we want to spend money on our outfield players. I don't think we need to be spending big on a Nick Pope or someone like that because Areola's perfectly capable of being our keeper 4 years to come. It's quite as simple as that.
You agree with that, Rio? You think Areola, or would you sort of like to? I mean, the thing is, Nick Pope. I read a lot of opposition forums, of course, given the nature of what I do. But it seems nearly every other Premier League club is interested in Pope this summer. You think Areola's good enough for us? Good enough to
at the stage of our evolution, the financial deal in place for Areola, I believe, is £11 million, and that is with PSG subsidising a lot of his wages still once he joins us. Because of that obscene deal yesterday, they've got to cut elsewhere, haven't they?
Yes. Amazing.
With the Mbappe thing. So at the moment, with the money at our disposal, the stage of revolution as a squad, we're bringing in a younger keeper on a full-time basis, potentially, and still leaving money to spend elsewhere because we need about 8 or 9 players, in my opinion, this summer.
Yeah.
Because we're losing 3 or 4 through retirements, contracts ending, etc., etc. We was clearly 2 or 3 players short in various departments at the start of the season. You want to improve in certain areas as well. So Areola, already a deal in place, allegedly, at a really decent price, and he's a good keeper.
Yeah, I think £11 million is the fee cited most frequently for the French keeper, which certainly seems like a good deal in terms of what people are paying. When you think that, what is it, Liverpool paid for Alisson something like 70 million, wasn't it, or something like that? Ridiculous amounts. And Kepa at Chelsea, I think, was a similar amount, wasn't he? But yeah, seems like a very good deal. Been a bit of a change in the relegation spots. Leeds have scored legitimately now at Brentford, and they are in the live league table out of the relegation zone. Burnley have dropped in. So that goal for Leeds changing things out at the top. There's still no change. Man City still losing, Liverpool drawing. And Arsenal scored a third goal against Everton, which is not going to help them in their battle to finish in the top four. It looks like Tottenham have got that secured now, that position, given that they're 2-0 up against Norwich at Carrow Road. West Ham still, we're 2/3 through this game here at the Amex Stadium. West Ham have just won a corner, 60 minutes gone. Michail Antonio's just won a corner for the Hammers. We're beginning to look a little bit more urgent in the way we're conducting our business. 4-1 now to Arsenal. Craven pointing out. Thank you, Craven. But we'll just stick with this for a second because Aaron Cresswell's got a corner on our left-hand side, which it's going to be an outswinger. All the usual suspects lining up in the box. Our set pieces haven't been too great today and probably in the last half of the season, but hopefully we can pull something off here. Cresswell delivers the ball into the box and Dawson would have gotten the end of it, but it's cleared out. We've still got the ball. It's played back out to Cresswell, who's whipped a cross in again. It's a strange save by Sanchez. He sort of, I'm not quite sure what's happened there. He's reached for it. He's just got to handle it, but Kevin Friend's seen an infringement that no one else has seen. And it's a free kick to Brighton. 61 minutes gone. Brighton 1, West Ham United 1. Aaron says we need one of everything this summer. 9 or 10 players is about right in response to Rio's suggestion that we need 8. Nick, what do you think? What are your areas of greatest concern going into the summer?
Keeper, I think we need a new left back.
Yep.
I think we need a new right back as well. Kufel's not been the same player that he's been in his first season. Again, there's quite apart from Rice, and even then there's a caveat. I think apart from Rice, I don't think there's any members of our squad who for decent beat. If the right money came in for him, I wouldn't let go.
Okay.
Maybe Zuma. It's not to say they're rubbish, but I don't think that apart from Rice, we do have anyone that is spectacular. Bowen, sorry, and Bowen.
Bowen as well.
Rice and Bowen are the untouchables. Anyone else, I would take the right money for if the bid came in.
Danny Welbeck's just missed a really good chance for Brighton, by the way. Played in on the left-hand side. He's got it onto his right foot. Tried to whip it around Lucas Fabianski. I mean, it's almost grazed the post, the far post, as he's tried to curl it around him. Very, very close. But West Ham living dangerously, of course. A second goal, you suspect, would be the death knell for West Ham's Europa League aspirations, I should say, not European, because, of course, we've already qualified for the Conference League. Rail, you mentioned 8 players. What areas for you are most in need of a boost?
Obviously, the forward line needs bolstering. Michail Antonio can't lead our line for a full season next year with no European campaign involved. So I think we need at least 1 or 2 people in the forward department. We definitely need a new left back. We need a new centre half. Angelo Bonner's 32, 33, and I think he's out of contract. I think we've negotiated a deal that he can stay on because of the injury.
Yep.
Craig Dawson's 31. He needs upgrading. And we also need strength in the centre of midfield as well.
Bonner's actually 34 tomorrow.
Yeah.
34 tomorrow.
So, we need strength in all around the pitch, you know. And I think it's not dismissing the achievements of what we've done, because we've managed with an ageing squad incredibly well this year. But if we want to progress as a club and push on, I hate to say the word, to that next level, we need to evolve in every single area of this club, push on and strengthen in areas that, you know, are going to make teams worry about us even more, just rather than just from set pieces and counter attacks. We need to be able to dictate the play from the back. We need to ask questions in midfield in terms of attacking ability there, rather than just being sheer workforce and brute strength at times.
Okay. Well, why don't you guys watching us on the live stream let us know where you think we need to strengthen most? It'd be interesting to see what you've got to say. Of course, if there's any players you particularly fancy out there, let us know. Who do you think would be ideal, given that the budget looks like it's somewhere between 100 and 150 million for David Moyes this summer, barring any sales, of course, in which case it might be even more. Let us know who you fancy. Steve Palmer agreeing with Nick saying that Bowen and Zoom are definitely ones to keep. Dawson right behind that. Interesting. I kind of watching this game and thinking, is this perhaps Dawson's swan song in a way for West Ham? And of course, he'll probably get used now and again this, intermittently next year. But you sort of get the feeling, Nick, that, Dawson is once again going to revert to a backup role next season.
Yeah.
Bring someone in, of course.
Yeah, I mean, as much as he's been kind of our hero and the warrior with a nosebleed, he's a poor man's Jimmy Collins, isn't he? Really, he's just one of those centre halves that will just throw his body on the line for you. One of those ones that's good to have in the trenches. But again, he's somebody else that's to me. He's actually, I know this is sacrilege because I love Dawson, but he's another one that's prone to a ricket, prone to giving away a penalty. How many red cards this season? 2, I think he's had, isn't he? Your centre halves are only good if they're on the pitch.
Yeah.
And when he's getting suspensions and giving away penalties, blah blah blah. No, he's great to watch. He's a typical old-fashioned West Ham centre half. Excuse me. Much as I love him, I hope he ain't first choice next year and that we've upgraded. Because that's the thing. When I'm saying about, there's not one player apart from the 2 aforementioned, Bowen and Rice. When I say I'd listen to offers, it doesn't mean that I don't think they're any good. It means I think we could, with the right business, get better, and that goes for even Rio's little favourite. And I do like them. I'm not saying they're rubbish or anything like that. I'm saying that we've only got 2 players that are irreplaceable. I think the other players are quite easily disposed of and replaced with some astute business.
Okay, interesting stuff. Rob Waldron, coming into the debate. He's gone for 9 players. He thinks we need 9. Goalkeeper, another left back, 2 centre halves, 2 central midfielders, a right winger, and 2 centre forwards, 2 strikers. Now we'll just come back to the game quickly because Kevin Friend's having a word with the Brighton captain. I think Cucurella's thrown his toys out of his pram once or twice too often today, and Kevin Friend just making the point to Dunk that he's going to have to behave himself. West Ham have been awarded a corner on our right hand side, 67 minutes gone, and Cucurella felt it should have been a goal kick and was remonstrating quite visibly, but corner's been given nonetheless. It's played short to Lanzini back to Bowen looking for options. There's Pablo Fornals on the edge. Looks like it's going to be a bit of a waste. It's absolutely dreadful. He's just tried to play it to Aaron Cresswell on the left-hand side of the box, and it's just gone straight out for a Brighton goal kick. Complete waste of time. AGXM, of course, one of our own, fellow moderator from years gone. Good to see you, AG. Says, I think that's about right, Rob. Do we have the money to do it all? And this, of course, the question. Thank you, AG, for coming on to that, because that's the question I wanted to ask next. You're sort of probably looking real, aren't you? About £20 million on average for, a decent Premier League quality player. Now you get quoted 20 million for, the young lad at Hull. Jared Bowen was that sort of figure. We paid 25 for, that was actually near 30, wasn't it, for Kurt Zouma? So if the budget is sort of, 100 to 150 million, perhaps you're looking at 5-6 players at best. We're going to still probably need to pull out 1 or 2 bargains, aren't we? If we're going to, complete, that shopping list this summer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's where the Ariola deal comes in. Rather than spending 30 million on Nick Pope with the add-ons, Ariola 11 million plus the subsidising wages from PSG is a start. Moyes' ethos when he came in was like getting young, hungry players, delving into the Championship and doing exactly what he did with Jared Bowen. If the rumours about Keane Lewis Potter, who I've got issues with his name, because
which one?
Keane. I mean, whose first name is Keane? It's like he's Keane, is he? Oh, exactly, he's Keane. Look, yeah. But that's living. But he's the exact kind of player that Moyes said he wanted, and I'm all for that. But you've got to hope that they do adapt to Premier League football, because they don't always do that. Nikola Vlasic, case in point. international European reputation, not really been seen. I hope he pushes on next year and gets another crack at the whip. But no, you got to say that's £30 million at the moment. That doesn't look particularly well spent.
And probably 30 million that we're unlikely to get back if we were to sell him. Same
at this stage of time, yeah. I mean, I hope, because I've seen a few, I know a lot of people on the forum haven't. I've seen a few shoots of potential there. I thought the Burnley game, before the accident with the poor, unfortunate Ashley Westwood, I thought he was having a great game, Vlasic. And he's doing exactly what I thought he would do at the start of the season when he came in. But it has been too few and far between. And his appearances in a very small squad have been far too sporadic for me.
Yeah, it's and also what about Said Benrahma? I mean, there's another one that lots of question marks over, but again, there's another one, isn't he, that you feel that we're going to be unlikely to recoup the 25 million we spent on him a year or so ago.
I don't know. I'm not so sure that we'll be unable to recoup his money. If we were to get 20, excuse me, if we were to get the 20 mil for him, say we've had him for 2 and a bit seasons, and we've got what we've got out of him, £5 million. To me, that'd be a smashing bit of business. I'm saying that we've got Rice as an untouchable. Now, I'm going on the silly rumours that we've got around about 100 to 150 million to spend. I don't think we've got anything near that, personally. We've never shown in the past that we've had anywhere near that. The cynic in me is saying that we ain't. But going to Rice, that could be upped. If all the money went in the pot, I know I'm saying he's an untouchable, but if Moyes was guaranteed to get every last penny of a Declan Rice sale for £150 million, I'd bite your arm off and he could rebuild the squad with that, because I've said all along, that's all money. We don't need to replace Rice. We strengthen the team as a whole. And I know that people love him and, you know, he's kind of come through our academy, but it's worth the sum of his parts.
Yeah,
we could use Declan Rice to actually push on. As I know it sounds like an oxymoron to some, again, not advocating selling him, but if we were to get 150 million for him, we plus our other budget, we could build a solid top 6 team without Declan Rice. And to me, that's what's most important if we're going to push on. I know you say you don't sell your own players, your best players, but sometimes you have to. And that's what I don't think it would be a bad idea. And I've said it, and it's not a new idea I've had. I've said it time and time again on the forum and got slaughtered for it. If Moyes gets the money for Declan Rice, I think we could actually become a better team without him. Right, and without having to go and look for a direct replacement, because we're not going to get one. If there was a direct replacement for Rice for cheaper money, then whoever's going to sign Rice would go and buy that one, surely.
I don't think the point with Declan Rice is there isn't an ample replacement, because there's no one as good as him at the moment in the probably in world football in that position. But anyway, just quickly reverting back to the Premier League, to the other fixtures. Philippe Coutinho has just scored for Aston Villa at Man City, who are now 2-0 down at home to Villa, which means if Liverpool can find a second goal at home to Wolves, they're pretty much nailed on to win the Premier League this year. So interesting final few minutes for both of those clubs.
Well, there's also one back for Burnley and all.
Yeah, Burnley were 2-0 down, of course, against Newcastle, and looked like they're destined for the drop, dead and buried. But as Nick's just pointed out, they've pulled one back, so it's not all over yet. Tottenham 4-0 up, and Norwich City just trying to outdo West Ham by the looks of it. Any more goals? I can't see any more goals. Oh, Leicester 2-0 up against Southampton. I don't think we've even touched on that one yet. Just a battle for mid-table positions, that one. Looking at what some of you guys are saying on the forum. Aaron talking about Said Benrahma says, I'd like to see him play centrally. Looks lost out on the wing. And Alf Garnett's ex-missus saying, I think the big conundrum is sell Rice for 100 million and buy 3 or 4 players to strengthen. Possibly going going back to what Nick was just saying there. Rob Waldron adding that I don't trust the Daves to give Moyes all the money, which of course has been the case for West Ham in the past, isn't it? In 1 or 2 similar scenarios, going right back to probably going back to Paul Ince actually as well, and of course Rio Ferdinand famously. Brighton have a corner anyway. 74 minutes gone. Just going back to this game briefly. On their right hand side, it's still 1-1 here. West Ham needing a second goal to stand a chance of finishing in that top 6. It's a free header. The ball's come in and it's free header for Brighton's number 4 Webster. But fortunately for West Ham, it's arrowed over the bar. Fabianski not needing to move. Not that I think he would have got to it anyway if it had been on target. But a change coming up for the home side anyway in this 75th minute. Just waiting to see who it is who's coming off and who's coming on. I think that's it's Sonny March coming on and Niels Lamptey coming on for Brighton, the number 2. So change there for Brighton. The way it's going here at the moment, Rio, it's looking very much like a 7th consecutive draw against Brighton and a 10th game without a win. Yeah, we've kind of petered out a little bit, haven't we? Every time we do try and venture forwards, the final ball's not at the quality desired. And because we're trying to push for a little bit to get this second goal, little gaps are opening at the back here. So, and I think that's why Lamptey's come on, because his pace is immense, isn't it? So that's a real worry. Just going back to what we were saying about the transfers and all, I think the big key here in this window is the first real window that Rob Newman will earn his corn. Yes. Because he's been in place for 8 months, 9 months now. The January window, it's always a minefield at best of times. But he's been brought in by David Moyes to do a job. It's going to be a very congested transfer market with the likes of Villa and Newcastle spending more money this year, as well as the usual suspects. So to get a calibre player we really desire and that David Moyes actually wants, Rob Newman's got to earn his money in a huge way. Yeah, Rob Newman, of course, confirmed we're just in Brighton have another corner. They've still got possession. We'll just stick with this for a moment. The ball's on the left-hand side. West Ham back in numbers defending. They're looking to get a cross in from the left. It is crossed in, and it's a dangerous-looking cross into the 6-yard box. But Craig Dawson doing well to head the ball out, but Brighton retain possession. Rob Newman confirmed as West Ham's head of recruitment on the 1st of October, 2021. Since when you'd expect, Nick, wouldn't you, that he's been, working diligently behind the scenes, putting long lists of potential signings together. You would expect us to be ready to go with signing a few players once that transfer window opens on July the 1st.
Yeah, you'd like to think so. I've had, again, on the forum, I've had a couple, not arguments, but I said he should have had, he won a gardening league before he signed for us, didn't he? And I said that he should have a metaphorical black book of when he came to us, of players that weren't good enough for City, but would have actually done for West Ham. And when I mentioned that, someone did point out, it's the 21st century, they don't have black books anymore, blah, blah, blah. We're completely missing the bloody point of the post. But anyway, I'm kind of wondering what is the point in him, because his track record, he doesn't really have a track record, does he, apart from Man City in recruitment. Right. And I do question that. Hopefully he might prove me wrong in the summer, but I'm kind of like, well, how hard is it to recruit for the richest football club in the world? When you just have to go say to a player, I want you, here's X amount of money, you're going to win trophies. Right. So, but again, maybe I'm just being too sceptical, see what this summer brings. But if it's the same old, which I think it will be, I think we're going to start next season really quite short and have the same old stories out of we're not just buying for the sake of it, etc., etc. And just like our dreams. And I'm not deliberately being negative. It's what we do. It's as simple as that. And that kind of has been how it is since Moyes has been manager. He won't buy for the sake of it, which is kind of admirable. But we've got so many players going out the door that they need to have got something in place pretty sharpish. I hope they have. I don't think they have, though. Well, time will tell in very soon. There's a couple of changes coming back to the game. Sassedo coming on from Wepa for Brighton. And it looks like Yarmolenko and Johnson are about to come on for West Ham. No changes yet. Mark Noble not making a move from the bench yet. Of course, it would be his 550th appearance for West Ham if he was to get on the field today, which would be a nice round number, of course. West Ham struggling in this second half, and Brighton have scored. Oh dear, Brighton are ahead, and I think that's the end of West Ham's Europa League aspirations. The ball played across from the right-hand side, just inside the edge of the box, and I'm just trying to see who the goal scorer is, but it is a goal anyway. Brighton are ahead. They've
turned this game around. 1-0 down the break. Gross it is who's scored for Brighton. He's put them ahead in the 80th minute here. Rio, looks like that's it for the Europa League.
Yeah, I think so. I can't say it's getting 2 goals at the moment. Good strike, you got to say, but, you know. Oh, sorry, I've just been a little bit put off by the goings on in the City game because they've come from 2-0 down. I think they've equalised 2-2.
It's 2-2 now, is it? I know they were 2-1.
Yeah.
Now.
Right, so, yeah, going back to our game. We mentioned about 5 or 6 minutes ago, the writing's been on the wall a little bit. We've been leaving gaps open at the back. We're pushing forward to try and get this goal. If it doesn't happen today, if we don't get the Europa League and it's still a conference, it's not a disaster. No, it's still a 7th position is something to be proud of. European football again is something to be proud of. It's frustrating, but it's what West Ham do, isn't it? Frustrate you to beyond an inch of your life at times. But no, the bigger picture is we've reached the semi-finals Europa League, had 2 really good cup runs, and a really healthy position in the league. So, again, disappointing, but let's look at the bigger picture, gents.
Yeah, there is a bigger picture, but the big but for me is the what could have been. To be honest, there's been some absolutely shocking decisions made by officials. There's been some shocking decisions made by players, and also some shocking decisions made by Moyes. You know why? The dangerous part of the game is always after you've made a substitution, and that's just been shown yet again. But again, it's on 80 minutes. And this is the thing that frustrates me with Moyes. For all the good he's done, he still leaves me scratching my head as to why we leave it so late to mix it up, to change it. Because, you know, we're doing stuff and it's just repetitive and it's not working.
Yeah. And
then he don't change it up. And then when he does, and you can't play, I mean, how long's he had? How many windows has he had? And you can't say, oh, but we've not got a squad depth and stuff like that because he's been here 3 windows.
Yeah.
And really, not being funny, that squad depth's on him because he's the manager and he's the one that you can blame the board all you want. They're probably partly to play with it, but we can't go bemoaning our squad depth when our managers come out in public and said that he's not just signing players for the sake of it. He wants to improve what we've already got. Which ultimately, the ones he has signed have kind of bombed, Blasic and Kroll. That's two of our 4 signings in the summer that have made no impact. So we've got 4 players in, 2 of them we've kind of not used. We've sort of stood still. And that's what I find frustrating. Yes. It's not a criticism. It ain't saying that Moyes is a crap manager or anything like that. Because if he takes the plaudits for when we do well and go and smash Leon away off the park and stuff, he's also got to take some of the stick for, or be questioned at the very least, for why we've gone into this season on 2 competitions with such a poor quality squad. Not the first 11, but underneath that.
Yeah.
Sorry, my City just gone in front.
Are they really?
Yeah.
From 2, was that 3 goals in about 5 minutes?
Yeah, 3 and 5 minutes. There's a lot of despondent faces 6-7 minutes ago there, but it's gone mental on Gundogan. I think he's got 2 now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with Nick. In some respects, we've been moaning the dearth of options that we have. He's decided David Moyes, that he's not decided not to strengthen at certain times to bring in players in for the sake of it. But I think for the first time, probably this year was the one where just a couple of bodies coming in would have been a bit of a lift and offered a kind of a physical and mental break for the squad we got because we're relying on the same 13, 14 players largely. And, we have stagnated a little bit. It is disappointing. But now I look at it both angles. I completely agree with Nick was saying, but, we're still an achievement this season to be proud of.
Yeah. It is, but that still doesn't take away what could have been. I mean, AG Edar could never bloody pronounce her name. On the thing saying, who thought 6th and 7th place in consecutive seasons? Yes, it's superb, but there's next year. that's I'm going to have to disagree with that on that last line, because I don't think Man United are going to be as crap next season. They're going to be far and away. Spurs and Arsenal have sorted their life out, and then don't forget Moneybags Newcastle as well. So this could have been not a last chance, but one of our last chances to actually push on. Now, we weren't to know that, Newcastle were going to get bought out by an Arab state, which I think is actually quite disgraceful. They've said that it's nothing to do with the state, etc., etc. And now next season's away kit's going to be the Saudi colours. Yeah, all right. I think these last 2 seasons are kind of opportunities missed. This season especially, it has been a good season. Bit of business in January.
Has it been a good season? Brighton should be 3-1 up. That's West Ham are falling to pieces now. Has it been a good season though? This is a good point. I think certainly it was a good opening half to the season, and we've been sporadically good since Christmas. But can you say, when you look back in the position we were in at Christmas, and the opportunity that we had at that point, we were on the cusp of the top 4. I think we might have been in the top 4, weren't we, at Christmas still? Still fighting on all 4 fronts in terms of the cups. We'd have pushed on then, and this will always be a contentious issue, whether it was Moyes' fault that we didn't push on in January, or the boards, or a combination of both. I suspect, as always with these things, it's somewhere in the middle. And obviously there is the issue with Moyes not wanting to use the board's favoured agent, shall we say, and having 1 or 2 of his own, and that certainly reached ahead. We're aware of that during January, and whether or not that repeats itself in the summer remains to be seen. But I mean, Rio, do you think it's been a decent or a good season, or do you think we've sort of fallen over a little bit in the second half?
I think because of the position we've finished and the Europa League run, it does paint over a more kind of rose-tinted perspective than we would have had if you look at it.
Yeah.
But because certainly since December, we've not achieved what we could have done, but I just think it is the whole kind of the sheer weight and volume of games coming through with such a sparse squad was always going to take effect. And when we started prioritising the Europa League with no guarantee we was going to get through, and obviously what happened, you always leave yourself open for criticism. So in hindsight, we'll look back at it and go, yeah, this was a decent season. And in terms of pure statistics, in like how far we progressed in places and finishing 7th in the league, which, let's be honest, West Ham sides haven't done too often over the years, have they?
Yeah.
But it is what could have been rather than what we have done. At this kind of stage, of this moment in time, it's always that what could have been.
Yeah, it's a tough one, because you don't, I mean, as has been pointed out, you've both pointed it out on several occasions during the stream. This is unknown territory pretty much for West Ham, and you don't want to be glib about it and sort of, I think you'd be needlessly negative, which would be the case if you were to be too dismissive of what we've achieved this year. But I can't help but escape the feeling, and I'm sure this will be something that's discussed frequently over the summer, that this second half of the season could have been so much better. Some investment during January in key areas really would have made the difference. That period, sort of March, April, where we had loads and loads of fixtures playing 3 times a week, during that late run in Europe. It's really cost us. And, you look back at games like this, you look back at games like Leeds at home and Brentford, and some of the points dropped on the road. Let's not forget, we've taken 10 points in the fixtures against the top 4 this season. I think only Newcastle have achieved more points than us against the top 4 clubs this year. Of those clubs outside of the top 6, that is. It's the other positions we've let ourselves down in, and that is something that isn't a new phenomenon. It's something we've been doing year in, year out. And I do kind of look back, and it's a question of what if for me. We'll always look back, I think, now at that semi-final, and unless we manage to go and win something next year against Frankfurt, and think, gosh, what a chance we had then. because I don't think it's unfair to say that they were no great shakes. I think we were a better team on those, and if we played them 10 times, I'd expect us to win, more than they would, shall we say? And it was just thoroughly. I don't know. Maybe we'll just feel a little, especially with what's happening today, because we're not going to beat Brighton again, and this is going to be 10 games in a row, and it's just a little bit disappointing. I mean, I said this at the start of the night. I feared this happening. Palace doing us a favour at Selhurst Park, but us letting ourselves down again, and it just feels a little bit like that for me. I don't know if I'm just being a little bit overcritical, Nick, but I think we were hoping for a little bit more at Christmas time.
Were indeed. Most certainly. I'm actually trying to find the table. The Premier League site's not working properly. I'm filtering it by match weeks. But it just keeps returning to, by the looks of it, this last table as it stands. Yeah, because we were sitting on 56 points, played that. Yeah, it's not filtering. I'm trying to see how many points we had on match week 19, which is halfway through the season, compared with today. But it's not letting me do it. I'm trying to do it, filter match week 19. It's just resetting to today's live table. So,
okay. I can tell you Liverpool have scored against Wolves at Anfield. They now lead 2-1, so that's both the top two teams winning. Brentford have equalised against Leeds. Burnley still 2-1 down. What does that mean for the table? It means currently Burnley are going to be relegated, and Manchester City will win the league. West Ham, unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're going to get into the top 6, even though Manchester United are still losing. We're in the second minute of time added on at the end of this game. 3 additional minutes called Brighton. And Brighton have scored again. It's 3-1, and that's definitely game over now. Just caps it off for me. It's a straightforward set piece. Corner into the centre box. Welbeck's got up unattended and just nodded it into the bottom left-hand corner, and that's defeat and a disappointing end to the season, Rio.
Yeah, and it pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? What we've been speaking about the last few minutes. Soft goal conceded. I think minds have gone. Spirits have dropped, and we've switched off at the wrong time.
Welbeck again. He always bloody scores against us.
How many times do we make teams actually earn goals rather than just concede through individual errors and just being generally naive? And there, I just think it's culmination of tired minds, tired bodies, and everyone's down in the dumps, really, on the pitch and off the pitch.
Yeah, really disappointing half to concede 3 goals. It's an interesting goal, actually, in some sense, because it's one of those that before the relatively recent changes with regards to the offside rule were implemented would have been given offside, because Wepa, I think, was standing in front of obscuring Lucas Fabianski's view, which would have been ruled out for offside. I mean, we all remember Alex Song against Arsenal, I think it was, having the goal disallowed. I think it would have been his only goal for the club, if I remember rightly. All those years ago for the same reason, but of course that isn't the case now. We're just waiting for the final whistle now. What an incredibly disappointing second half it's been for West Ham. 1-0 up at the break, in the top 6 of the live league table, but it's going to end in defeat, and that is going to be 10 games. That's it, 93 minutes and 7 seconds, and the final whistle goes at the Amex Stadium. It's finished. Brighton and Hove Albion 3, West Ham United 1. West Ham 1-0 up at the break, just completely fell to pieces in the second half. Veltman equalising in the 50th minute, Gross putting the hosts ahead in the 80th minute, and the second of 3 minutes added on at the end. Danny Welbeck gets the header to make it 3-1 to Brighton. Nick, sum up what we've seen this afternoon, if you will, please.
Load of old rubbish. Absolute load of old rubbish. And yet again, we've capitulated, which is embarrassing. It's embarrassing, and this is the point I've been trying to make time and time again. A couple of times today, they walked through our midfield, a midfield that contains supposedly the best defensive midfielder in the world.
Yeah,
and a player that is apparently untouchable and should be sold in Souček. Now, we're conceding goals for fun. Our problems are at the other end, are mainly in the midfield, our defensive midfield and our creativity in the midfield and up front. Basically, we finish in 7th. You can't see what I've just seen off camera, don't worry. Yeah, it's a disappointing end of the season, but we've got a lot of investing to do in the summer. We've got to spend a lot of money to just stay still. A lot of money to be where we were in the first half of the season.
Yeah,
because quite clearly the adrenaline and the buzz that we had during COVID season and last season has quite clearly gone. But let's see if Moyes is true to his word. What was it he said not too long ago? No sentimentality in football. There's going to be a changing of the guard next season at West Ham. Something like that, he said, wasn't it? We'll stick your money where your mouth is and show us then, because we were bottom half from Christmas onwards. And it's only because other teams have contrived to throw it all away that we somehow ended up in 7th. So.
Yes. It's certainly relying on our opening half of the season form to finish there. Rio disappointing, really disappointing into the campaign. It all looks so good at half time as well.
Yeah, no, we victims of our own demise, wasn't it? You know, we just again come out in the second half, switched off, which cost us. And from then on, we were trying to chase the game a little bit. Individual errors crept in, stray passes. As I said, it's like a mixture of tired minds, tired bodies. And it was just a little bit of frustration creeping in as well. And all in all, it's a flat end to what has been such a promising 18 months.
I think that's the right word. It's promising. That's the thing. As Graham said earlier, you know, but has it really been that great a season? Well, I suppose league position for us, yes, it has. But that's the nail on the head, that word, promising. And the whole season has kind of ended up as we've said, that word, damp squib. And yeah, we're in a European competition via the league for the second year running. And yet we're sitting here feeling absolutely deflated because of how the second... We've got that from... I think it's universally accepted in it. We're where we are. We've qualified for Europe because we had that fantastic form up until the new year.
Yep, certainly have. Manchester City have won the league, by the way. They've held on to win 3-2. Well, I say held on. They were 2-0 down at home to Aston Villa. They've managed to turn it around and win 3-2. Liverpool beating Wolves 3-1 in the end. Well, it's still going. I think there's a few seconds left, but it doesn't matter. That's immaterial. Man City are Premier League champions. At the other end of the table, Burnley are going to be relegated because Leeds have scored a second goal in the 4th or 5th minute of added on time at the Brentford Community Stadium to go 2-1 up against 10 men Brentford. And Burnley, even if they score again against Newcastle, currently 2-1 down, aren't going to do enough to save themselves from relegation. So that's that lot pretty much sorted out. West Ham, huge opportunity today. We knew that Palace would likely to do us a favour at Selhurst Park. They've done that. They've done their bit. Palace have beaten Manchester United by 1-0 at Selhurst Park, which means West Ham just needed to win today at the MX Stadium to secure a top 6 finish for the second successive season. It was looking so good at half-time. The Hammers a goal ahead at the breakthrough. Michail Antonio scoring in the 41st minute, but goals from Veltman, Gross and Welbeck giving the points to Brighton and West Ham. And we're all feeling really disconsolate and disappointed, which is a real shame because, you know, as we said, we've broke records this year. For the first time in 42 years, we've got to the last 4 in a European competition. The first time ever, we've qualified for Europe in successive seasons via our league position. And yet we're all feeling slightly cheesed off. Someone else who's probably slightly cheesed off is joining us now live on the stream. Last time we saw him, we were all full of beans and delighted at the halftime whistle, but it's all gone mightily wrong in the second half. Noam's going to tell us exactly why. Brighton 3, West Ham United 1. Noam, what went wrong in that second half?
We threw that away. We had all the air. Somebody thought we've done the job already. That's all we need to do. Sat back. We've done it before, and with predictable consequences, I'm afraid. Half as difficult the save you made in the first half. And if you'd saved that, maybe we'd have just taken the sting out of it But when you concede that early, you just had initiative, and we never really got going second half.
No, it was a remarkable difference between the first half performance, in which we pretty much controlled the game, and the second half. You know, we were at 6s and 7s for much of it. Gnome seems to have gone on the blink at the moment, so we'll hopefully get him back in just a minute. But I just want to kind of, we got the final Premier League table in now, chaps. So I just want to do a quick compare and contrast where we're hoping to get Gnome back. West Ham finishing 7th in the league, 38 points, 38 games, 56 points. It's a total of 16 wins, 8 draws, 14 defeats, 64, 51 against, a goal difference of +9 yet again, which I suppose is something else we should be celebrating. Compared to last year, where were we last year? Finished at 65 points, so 9 points adrift of last year's form. Winning, how many did we win last year? We won 19 games last year, lost just 11. Scoring, what's that, 62 against 47, a +15 goal difference. Nick, it's quite a considerable difference. Is it purely because of the Europa League campaign that we've not managed to emulate what we did last season, or is there something more concerning at the heart of this?
I don't think it can all be put on Europa League.
Right.
The one win is 7 in the league is pretty shocking in itself, really.
Yeah.
The Europa League as well, the performances in that. What did we do in the end? We lost 3 of those, or was it 4? Didn't we lose?
We lost 4 because I saw 3 of them. I was at 3 Europa League games, and
and so even our Europa League run, something I was advocating, right, was when we put all the kids out, we were still on an absolutely superb run. And then it was the dead rubber of the Zagreb game. And I was advocating, don't put the kids out. Don't put the kids out, because winning breeds confidence.
Right. We
lost that game. And that was the day, if you look at the games after that, that was the day our form turned. Okay. It was like, doing that game, playing the kids, we lost momentum. Now, that's probably not the reason, right?
Yeah.
But it's how it looks. Since that Zagreb game, our form has gone absolutely downhill with the odd really good performance. And that's it in a nutshell, really.
Okay.
And it's quite sad that what could have been.
All right, interesting stuff. Rio, do you agree with Nick that was a contributory factor into our sort of late demise as the second half of the season, went on?
No, I wouldn't go that far myself. I can understand where he's coming from. But I did really feel that with the amount of games, the sheer volume of matches we're playing week in, week out, with the same core of players who quite clearly couldn't cope on 4 fronts.
Yeah.
I understand why the changes were made, and at the time I agree with it. But yeah, you do wonder, was that the catalyst? Once you lose momentum, as I've said before on here, been to a couple of ex-West Ham player nights, and Tony Gower said, when you're playing well, when you're winning, you don't care how tired you are, because the sheer adrenaline, the sheer momentum will carry you through.
Right.
Maybe that did play a little bit of a factor, changing it up a little bit, but you just don't know, do you? I just think we was clearly at least 2 or 3 players shy at the start of the season. 2 of the players that we brought in haven't featured enough, because I know Alex Crowell's coming for a lot of criticism. The one game that I see him play at away Man United, I thought he did really, really well. Yeah. Against Kidderminster. Obviously, he didn't play well, but nobody one player on that team who did play well.
No, the whole team was poor that day, weren't they?
Yeah. Nikola Vlasic, again, he hasn't set the world alight, but when he has played, he's been tidy enough with that. Maybe they could have been utilised a little bit more to ease the burden. We're new to this. We're new to playing on 4 fronts. I'm going to try and look at the positives of this, It's a learning curve for us.
Yep.
We've got a whole set of squad now who hadn't had much experience in European football, probably bar Sufal and Suchek. So they've learned from the Europa League campaign this year. So going to the Conference League next year, we're a bit more astute, a bit more aware. And as a club, I think trying to balance out the way that our squad works and easing the burden will come into play. I think it's been a learning curve this year. We've fallen short in certain places, and it hurts. It does hurt. But I'm going to look on the positives. It's a learning curve, and we've done all right. It's fallen a bit flat at the end of it.
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? It would have been, if it was the other way round, we'd all be eulogising about what a great season it had been. If we would have been seventh at Christmas, and or you know, had the first half we had in the second half to put us up to 7th, but it hasn't turned out that way, and here we are. No, what's your overall view on this? I mean, we were saying just before you came on the stream that we'd performed fantastically in the opening half the season, but it's all sort of gone wrong. Nick's kind of suggested that perhaps that started with the Zagreb game where we rested our players, and
I didn't get a lift back, did we?
Where do you think it's sort of gone wrong, or do you not think it's gone wrong? Do you think we're just expecting too much of this squad?
Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry. I think that you've got to.
I was trying it.
Let's look back at 2 years ago, and here we are. We're sort of moaning about only finishing 7th, only qualifying for Europe. You know, but the lower of the two that
and
we
that was only because he went along the coast.
And,
if he hadn't gone along the coast,
think about it. I mean,
across, he said, "Oh, it's enough time. We'll cut across."
We've only qualified for Europe again. It's a little bit churlish, I think. You look back in the retrospect. All those comments, the momentum going off the Zagreb, the failure to make any meaningful proper additions to the squad when, that was a team out there that desperately needed refreshing, and they only made subs really at the end, one of which was just to get Nova on the pitch for a few minutes to say goodbye. So,
we'll have a seat and everything.
At the end of the day, I think still not a bad season, was it?
No, it's not been a bad season, but I guess the point is what it's come down to is that Palace did us a favour today. All we had to do, it's come down to one game. All we had to do was go out there and beat a Brighton team that, I don't subscribe to this, they've got one foot on the beach thing, because these are professional players that have always been professionals. They don't take their foot off the gas just because they've only got one game to go. They're playing for professional pride, also for the bonuses they're going to get, and also for the club. But that's what it comes down to. All we had to do was go out there today. And in fact, you could say it came down to the last 45 minutes. We did our job really well in the first half. We were the better team, and it all went yet again. And it's not the first time in the last 2 or 3 months that we've fallen apart after half time. And I guess, is that Moyes' fault? Is there some questions to be asked of the management? Where is it going wrong? What's the problem there?
Today was, of all the days when it's half time, instead of sort of patting on them back, telling them how well they're doing, today was a day when you needed to give them a rocket and say, look, it's only half done, you've got to do the other half of the job. And we did say that, nobody listened, because as I say, I mean, Fabianski saves that, who knows, it might take his sting out of it, but having sat back, we sort of we do that quite a lot, don't we? We get our nose ahead and then we sit back and try and defend and play on the break. And we weren't sharp enough. We weren't. Antonio goal apart was poor, I think, today. Fabianski, of course, I think he had a good game. Not the goal as well, his distribution lacked a lot, I think, today. A number of throws out, put the player in trouble.
Yeah.
So too many. If you've got a squad and you're using the same players week in, week out, eventually players are going to sort of lose a bit of form. And if you're playing the same squad all the way through, the likelihood that it's not going to happen at once, it's increased every game. And I think that's what I did today.
Okay, all right. I mean, the point is where we're, as we've said a couple of times since the final, we're sort of sitting here feeling a little bit sorry for ourselves. Because we've lost today and kind of blown that opportunity to get back in the Europa League. But we have finished the best of the rest, and I do hate this Big Six thing because it's a nonsense. I mean, there's really a big three of Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea, and the rest are just playing for scraps. It's just there's a big three and maybe a slightly larger three behind that, I think, at the moment, and then the rest of us. But we have finished top of the other 14, as it were. Where do we go from here? What's the third? Nick, let me come to you first. What's the first thing David Moyes needs to address? When he gets into Rush Green on Monday morning and sits down with Rob Newman and the team. What do they need to do first of all?
It's defense. I don't like saying it about a team that got to the seventh and got to a quarterfinal, a semi-final of the Europa League. Yeah, but the whole team needs an overhaul. We've got too many players that are over 30. Too many players that were playing on adrenaline for the last 2.5 seasons. Yeah, trying to do your name's been talking. I'm looking at the swing. Last season we finished above Tottenham and Arsenal. Yeah. This season they have finished well ahead of us. Arsenal have finished 13 points ahead of us, and Tottenham have finished 15 points ahead of us. And I know we're only little West Ham, but come on, we want to be fighting with the big boys. So again, I'm not trying to be up my own backside or be Spursy. You got to compare it to those who we finished above last season. Yeah, because of where we want to be. Mm-hmm. Now, let's say 13 and 15 point gap. Now, if the teams below us with that gap, we would have been 14th and 15th. That's what the 13 and 15 point gap is below us. Yeah. And we were well above them at Christmas, and they finished that far ahead of us. Something has gone drastically wrong, which is why I think all four of us sitting here now are feeling such a sense of disappointment. No, maybe we couldn't have kept it up throughout the whole season. Yeah, that's not what I was expecting. I was expecting us to do the West Ham coming down with the decorations, etc. But to have such a huge turnaround to two clubs that we finished above last season. Yeah, and they would have finished above us last season with the same amount of points, don't forget, as well, with what they accumulated this season. If we were sort of there or thereabouts, all right, they ain't had Europe or whatever, but we was miles ahead of them. And they're now, massively double figures ahead of us come the end of the season. Yeah, it's a big turnaround, isn't it? I mean, it's a very good point, a very valid point indeed. And something, but I think my personal view is the reason you've just given there is that they've not been in Europe. They've not had that extra pressure of having to fight in midweek, whereas we have. And the problem is, and it's due to our small squad, isn't it, Rio? That's what's really cost us.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I know it's an easy drum to bang, but the fact that Arsenal haven't had European football this season has spoken volumes, because we've seen them play against us twice. Have they been a better side than us? No. They've still got the favourable decisions from echelons above, the lack of 2 games a week. And they should rightly finish in the top 4 or 5, because they should have that little bit of quality, and and then the extra rest has done them world of favours. Next year, I guarantee they'll be like at least 12 points worse off. Tottenham manipulate themselves out of a European competition to get what they got, Champions League football. And it's worked. That's the only reason they got out of that Conference League. They thought they were too big for it, and talked themselves out.
A couple of good signings in January. That's also made a difference.
Yep, that helped as well. But they manipulated themselves out of the European competition. Their first chance of winning a real trophy for 30-odd years. What for? A shot at the Champions League. What are they going to achieve there? Because I don't think they're going to get past probably the knockout stage, like last 16.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, of course. And on that point, talking about manipulating, a passage through to that, it's kind of gone against Arsenal the other way, isn't it? Whereas they sort of all those games that they abandoned around Christmas, and they've had that fixture pile up at the end of the season. It's cost them a place in the Champions League. So interesting to see how that sort of panned out. Gentlemen, we're going to call it a day. We're going to wrap up very soon because I want to end on a positive note. You know, we have finished in Europe again. We're off on another European tour next year. Hopefully, Nome will be in a better position to join us as well next season. Hopefully, Rio too. And if Nick and I are also available to get out there, Pinky's always out there anyway. He's always at every away game. So hopefully we can get to a few games together in Europe next season, gentlemen. Which is of course what it's all about, isn't it? You know, it doesn't matter what competition we're in. It's just about getting out there and having some good times together. Before we wrap up, it is of course the season is over, which means it's the beginning of the KUMB awards. It's where are we? It's the 25th KUMB awards this year. It's the big one, KUMB 25. And the polls will be opening tomorrow afternoon, probably, for your votes this season. Hopefully, everyone watching on the stream will be jumping onto KUMB to cast your votes and nominate your winners for this season. I'm going to go through you chaps and find out who you're going to be voting for this year. You might not be able to answer all of the categories straight off the top of the head, but we'll see how many we get through anyway. Let's begin with Young Player of the Year. I'm going to go. We'll go through Rio, Nick and Nome in that order on each one, if I can remember to do so. Young Player of the Year is somebody who's 21 years old or under at the beginning of the season. So Declan Rice, who's won it 1, 2, 3, I think he's won it for 4 years in a row, is no longer eligible. Rio, who's your Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year for this year?
I know I've been critical of him at times, but again, because he's made an impact on David Moyes' side, and David Moyes doesn't trust a lot of young players in the club, it's got to be Ben Johnson.
Excellent. Okay, Ben Johnson, Rio. Nick, how about yourself? Johnson. No, I'm going to have to unmute you. Sorry, I've got you on mute right now. Noam, who's your view, your nomination for young player?
Can't argue with my two learned friends there. Definitely Johnson.
Okay, looks like it's a clean sweep for Ben Johnson. Then maybe with a nod to Armstrong Ockerflex, who's been performing absolutely fantastically for the 23s and done a great job for them there. But it's going to be tough to dislodge Johnson. Made himself a first-team player this season. Let's go on to goal of the season, Rio. Your goal of the season for 21-22.
Oh, a late candidate today by Mikel, but just for the pure emotion, it's got to be Andrei Yarmolenko home to Aston Villa.
Okay. Nick?
Andrei Yarmolenko home to Seville.
Ooh, I think them two are going to be the top ones, actually, when we come to the vote. But Noam, one of those for you or a different one?
I'm trying to think. I mean, so many goals and all that, and they're not sort of sticking in the head for some reason. But I think, Yarmo and Seville, I think those two.
Okay. I think.
Oh, actually, I've just thought of another one. Lanzini away at Palace wasn't bad, was it?
Well, yeah, I think that's the favourite so far.
Yeah, I've forgotten about that.
On the forum, but I get the feeling Yarmolenko, either one of those is gonna push him, given the emotion of the situation. Most memorable match. Next one, Rio. Most memorable match for you. This again is a two-pronged affair, really. I think. Yeah,
there's 5 or 6 different choices. I'll probably have to go for Lyon away though, because as much as I enjoyed Chelsea at home, Liverpool at home, Lyon away, it was special. I know I wasn't there, but it was special, wasn't it?
All right, Lyon away for Rio. Nick?
Yeah, I've got to agree. I remember us. It was just you and I, when it doing eyes up that night. And yeah, what a night! Brilliant. Yeah.
We couldn't believe it, could we? It was an unbelievable. Rio was there as well. Sorry, Rio. Forget you. 3 of us. Most memorable match of the season for you. A few good contenders, as Rio's pointed out.
I think that one takes it, doesn't it? Beating Seville was good as well, but I think Lyon.
Yeah. I think it's going to come down to those two. For me, I just the one that really sticks out. I think Lyon's going to take it, but it's just the one that I'll treasure for a long, long time is that was it Chelsea, and when Masuaku scored the winning goal when he with the cross in the last minute. It was just an incredible moment. It was just we couldn't believe what was going on. And of all the most improbable players to score the winning goal, Masuaku. So I don't know, maybe an outside shite. That sounds like what I used to do with my granddad's in the 70s. An outside shout for that one. Best signing. There's not too many options in this category this year. Rio, do you need me to run through the players we've signed this year, or are you okay with making a nomination?
No, I'll make a nomination straight away.
All right.
I think Kurt Zuma's been an absolute breath of fresh air. Obviously, pet-related incidents apart, he's been absolutely superb on the pitch.
Kurt Zouma taking the nomination for Rio. Nick, how about yourself?
I'm going to have to go for the same as Rio. Zouma, cat-related incidents aside, don't like him much as a person for that, but as a footballer, yeah, he's been our best signing.
Only really 4 contenders in this award this year. You've got Alphonse Areola, Kurt Zouma, Alex Kroll, and Nicola Vlasic.
Actually, I'm going to change it because doesn't Dawson come under as a signing?
No. We had this one before with Lanzini. No, he was already at the club, so he's not eligible for the for the thing. But you're right. Technically, it was a new signing. Noam, Vlasic, Kroll, Zouma, or Areola for you?
Not exactly spoilt for choice, are we? But yeah, Zouma.
Of course, it's going to be a clean sweep. 4 out of 4 for Kurt Zouma from us on that one. Most improved player. Now, this is quite an open category, I think, on this one. Rio, most improved player for you?
I've got to say, because he's developed into not just the warrior of a centre half, but also he was pinging balls left, right, and centre across the whole of the pitch at the end of the season at times. It's going to be Craig Dawson.
Craig Dawson, the most improved player for Rio. Good shout. I think he's going to take a lot of votes in this year's KUMB Awards in that one. Nick, what about you?
Jared Bowen.
Jared Bowen. Okay, and why?
I don't know enough about Craig Dawson to know what kind of defender he was like before he signed for us. Even in, when he was when did we get him off? Watford, wasn't it? But apparently he was a bit of a monster as well at West Brom.
Oh, sorry, Dawson. Yeah.
So I can really only judge on what improvement that I've seen, because Dawson's been fine for us since he rocked up. So it's got to be Jared Bowen. He looks a lot fitter. He looks almost the complete player. And to be the second best English player for golden assists in the Premier League this season is no mean feat.
Right, Bowen and Dawson. Noam,
yeah, probably Dawson. I thought Bowen was already that good.
Okay. I'm going to put you on mute straight away because I think there's a few obscenities coming from there. Classic time in Rio on that one, as usual. I'm going to go for someone different. And I mentioned him earlier in the stream. I'm going to go for Andrei Yarmolenko because after that game at Kidderminster, it was effectively a busted flush at West Ham. People were effectively asking David Moyes to sack him, which was a bit unfair because I don't think he played much worse than anyone else at Kidderminster. The way he came back, I know a lot of it was the result of outside influences, but I just think the way he came back was pretty remarkable. And the Aston Villa goal, the goal against Sevilla. It was just fantastic, and so for those reasons alone, I'm gonna have him as my most improved player. Most missed. Now, most missed is a player who left us last summer. Do we? I guess we're going to need reminding of who's eligible for this.
I've already got mine, so I don't need reminding.
I've got to have a look now. So let's have a look. So who left from the end of last season? So we've got 21st to 21. Right. So you could have had Oladapo Afolayan, who went on to Bolton and scored quite a few goals there. You've got Fabian Balbuena, Felipe Anderson, Zonde Silva, Winston Reid, or Frederick Alves. Rio, this is going to be a tough one this year.
Someone who left at the end of last season, you've missed out, mate.
Go on. Who's that?
Be my nomination for most missed.
Go on.
Jesse Lingard.
Oh, yeah, technically, I suppose you could include Lingard. Yeah, all right, fair enough. Rio, would you go along with that?
No, I actually going to stick with Balbuena. I thought it was really underrated. I know that Craig Dawson stepped up to the mark.
Yeah.
But there were time, particularly end of the season, we was obviously lacking another centre half.
Yeah.
And every time Fabian Balbuena stepped in for me, I kind of liked him. He did the job. So now we could have done with him.
Okay, good stuff. No, mate. It looks like it's going to be a
Come on!
between the two here, really. There we go again. We're going to have to start bleeping you out now. Most missed player.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of Lingard in that way, but I think he was the most missed. The times we were needing somebody like that, and just we didn't have anyone on the bench or even starting. Yeah, so I'll go for that.
All right, okay. I'm glad you pointed that out, Nick, because I mean, I recall standing next to you at the Waldstadion a few weeks ago, and we were watching West Ham ping the ball from left to right, and then just whack it down the line for Antonio or Bowen to chase on, and we were sort of sitting there saying to each other, why do we not make no probing runs through the centre? In fact, we haven't done that since Jesse Lingard was at the club. I think for that reason alone, I'm going to go for Lingard, because we lost something without that this season. We lost the ability to attack teams centrally, I think, and good shout. So 3 for Lingard and 1 for Fabian Balbuena. I might drop these this season, but it's something we've always done, and I do. We receive a lot of criticism for doing these year in, year out. I think we might have actually dropped them last season, but anyway, worst player of the season, Rio. Should we have this one this year, or should we dump it? What do you think? Anyway,
I think it's incredibly harsh this year to have it. I think everyone stepped up to the mark and contributed in some form.
All right. Well, hypothetically, then let's just keep it in for this section alone. If you had to nominate someone, who would it be?
If I'm going to nominate someone, it's not for their own fault. But if you're an international player who can't make the breakthrough into a side that's playing 2 games a week and is very thin on the ground, I have to say Alex Crowell. But I feel really, really harsh about saying that.
Oh, you meanie. Poor Alex. 24th birthday a couple of weeks ago. But getting Rio's nomination, Nick?
Well, my nomination is going to be for a player that I have absolutely tons and tons of time for. And I've had stuck up for him time and time again on a forum. And it is solely for his 13th minute sending off in the Europa League semi-final, second leg. And that is Aaron Cresswell. For having that brain fart.
Worst player of the season.
That one moment.
Yes. Well, 2 moments, wasn't it? I suppose if you look at the other game of the Leon game as well. No, worst player of the season?
I didn't vote in it last year. I probably won't this year as well. I'm going to have to dip off in a minute, because
all right,
little power in my headphones and almost no power left in my phone. So,
all right.
I'll say my goodbyes now anyway, and hopefully
all right, we're coming to the best one, but anyway, all right, we're going to jump worst signing of the season anyway, and we're going to go to greatest disappointment. I think we all know what's going to win this one, but Rio,
the capitulation in the Europa League.
Yeah, Nick.
Yeah, pretty much the same as that.
Yeah. Noam, are you going to go for that as well? The Europa League semi-final.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
it was everything about it was wrong. Being stuck on my own doing this and trying to sort of keep it going and that's it.
Yeah, nobody's told for that night, the semi-final second leg. Most memorable moment on a happy one. Are we? Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there in 2 minutes. We'll just finish it up. Sorry, got the chef in the background. Most memorable moment, Rio.
Sorry, was that most memorable?
Most memorable moment. Yeah, we sort of touched on this earlier, didn't we?
Yeah. Again, it's got to be Yarmolenko's goal against Villa. Again, such emotion come through that whole day. To see Villa fans applaud as well as West Ham fans. I'm emotional git at the best of times, but I had a massive tear in my eye. I actually think I went.
Nick, most memorable moment for you?
The entire trip to and from Frankfurt. But does that count? That's on a personal level, I suppose.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's fine. That works. I'm not sure it'll make the final 10 of the
No, not fast.
But yeah, absolutely.
Winning. I support West Ham. It's never been about winning.
No, that's good. Good stuff. Okay, most memorable moment. I don't know what I choose. Maybe Noble send off last week, the tears and seeing him with his family.
Well, yeah, that and all.
Two to go. We'll start with this one. This is always a popular one on KUMB on the KUMB Awards. Hackett of the Year. You've got there could be referees, defenders, opposition fans, politicians. Rio, where are you going to lay your vote this year on this one?
There's a few players I like to nominate, but I'm going to go with referees.
Yep.
To single one out would be wholly unfair, their whole profession. But the German bloke against Seville, Mike Dean. Let's give it to Mike Dean. He's leaving us. We're never going to see him again. It's like a golden handshake, isn't it? A golden slap around the face. Mike Dean gets it.
Do you know Mike Dean has never won the Hackett of the Year before? I'm just looking back at the list of past winners. In fact, I think only one referee's won it before, and that was Simon. No, he wasn't a referee. That was a linesman, Simon Beck, in 2018, 2019. Everyone's sort of going to be scratching their heads, wondering who he was. Simon Beck was the linesman who failed to spot that James Milner was a mile offside for the Liverpool equaliser in that game at the Olympic Stadium back in 2019. Nick, Hackett of the Year.
Oh Christ! No, I can't say Aaron Cresswell again for his sending off in Frankfurt, can I?
We could do.
That when you were there, it was just one of those when that red card came out, and you knew that was it. That was the end.
Yeah.
And I've never had such a sinking feeling at a football match in my entire life, because there was nothing about it that was unjust, and it was simply a rush of blood to the head. But I'm not going to have him. I'm going to have David Moyes for the substitution of bringing Mark Noble on against Man United, which ultimately could well have cost us our Euro. No, I'm not even going to say that. I'm going to go with referees in general, because
just referees.
Yeah, the standard of officiating this season has been absolutely shocking. I'll say it. I think it's been blatant corruption and favouritism this season by the referees.
Okay.
They've not hid it. They've not even hid it.
All right. Referees and Mike Dean. I'm sensing a pattern here. I'm going to go for a bit of a left field choice. That bloke, the cheerleader for Eintracht Frankfurt, Peter Fischer, I think his name was, the one who was complaining about Frankfurt only being given 2,500 tickets at the London Olympic Stadium, and then suggesting that the Germans would descend upon Buckingham Palace en masse for a party, which of course never happened. And we were subjected to him as well at the beginning of the game at the start.
Yes, what was your quote of what he sounded like? Can you remember?
I can't recall, and I probably couldn't say, but please remind me if you're able to do so, Nick.
Oh, you said it sounds like it reminds me of one of those rallies you see in newsreels.
Oh, the song you're talking about. Yeah,
no,
okay, yeah, the song that preceded it.
You said that about his speech as well.
Oh, right.
You said he sounded like
a particular rally.
Of somebody that may have stood up with a funny haircut and a funny moustache at Nuremberg, or something, which made me chuckle.
But anyway, Peter Fischer, I think that was his name.
Good
Fischer.
shout.
Royally cheesed me off. He did for all that, and of course they won, which made it even worse. One category to go, gentlemen. It's the big one. Who is your KUMB.com Player of the Year for 2020, century out 2021-22? Let's do a runner-up and a Player of the Year. So Rio, runner-up first of all for you.
He should get the winner actually, but I'm going to put him as runner-up because he's just set a higher benchmark. That's Declan Rice, and my winner is Jared Bowen, who's stepped up to the mark hugely this season in a very critical year for us. And if he's not in the England squad in the coming months, Grav Southgate's going to win next year's Hack of the Year early.
Thank you very much. Nomination for Jared Bowen as Hammer. Who won the Hammer of the Year? Declan Rice, didn't he? He won the clubs.
Yeah, he won. Yeah.
Did we get a runner-up in that?
I didn't see it.
No, I don't think they did. But anyway, Declan Rice, runner-up for Rio. Jared Bowen is the winner. Nick, how about yourself?
Runner-up for me is Jared Bowen. And my winner for Hammer of the Year, for the way he's carried himself throughout his last season with utmost dignity, come on and played his heart out on the rare occasions that he has come on the pitch. So as a final send-off, my nomination for Hammer of the Year is Mark Noble.
Brilliant. I think there's going to be a lot of those coming in this year. Excuse me, I thought he was going to say Andrei Yarmolenko there. I don't know where I thought that. But Mark Noble, anyway, so one for Noble Bowen. I'm going to go for my runner-up would, and this is really close, and I think this is quite an open one this year. For the first time in years, there's many potential winners across the team. I'm going to go, no, we don't want to watch your stream. Get off the live chat. Hang on, I've got to get rid of this person. My runner-up is going to be Craig Dawson because.
Can I get this link?
It's gone. Sorry, too late. I just think that it's just a fairy tale story, isn't it? 18 months ago he was languishing in the Watford reserves, couldn't get a game for love nor money. The fans hated him, couldn't wait to get rid of him. We took a gamble on him. We didn't want him. Our fans wondered what David Moyes was doing. And I don't think he played until the beginning of October. And there were kind of a lot of people sort of saying, where's Craig Dawson? It was almost like, he disappeared off the face of the earth. But what a season he's had, thrown into the deep end through injuries to other people, and just been absolutely immense. Made a couple of mistakes, but you're not talking about a £50 million defender. This is a guy who cost us £2 million and has helped us get to the last four of the Europa League. My player of the year, I mean, for me, there's only one player in it. John Hartson. No, he's not my nomination, but he was the last player to score 18 goals in a Premier League season for West Ham. And that was 25 years ago. It's taken that long to find another player who can do it. He's not an out-and-out striker. But Jared Bowen scored 18 goals for West Ham this year across all competitions. As I said, the first player to do it in a Premier League season since John Hartson. Marlon Harewood did score 20, I think, but that was in the championship season. And I just think that deserves recognition because it's rare. We talk about that mythical 20 goal a season man, don't we? As if that that's the answer to everyone's problems, and we've got one here now. And I just think for that reason he gets my nod. So I think the fact that we've all gone for someone different just shows how difficult it's going to be to predict a winner from that category this year. But we will find out very soon because, as I said, from tomorrow the KUMB awards polls will be open. You will be able to nominate your own winners from those 12 or 13 categories this year. There is another category which is the we introduced last year, didn't we, gentlemen? Which was the special award, like the equivalent of the lifetime award. And I think we probably know where that one's going to go this year. But that's another one that's we'll decide amongst ourselves. But yeah, so tune into KUMB.com from tomorrow to find the polls and enter that. As I said, it's our 25th year of nominating our annual awards. I'll run through the winners of the player of the year quickly. What a team this would be. John Hartson, 97-98. Steve Lomas, 98-99. One for Rio there. Paolo Di Canio in 99-2000. Stuart Pearce, player of the year, 2000-2001. 2001-2002. Sebastian Schemmel fell off a cliff after that, didn't he? Joe Cole, 2002-2003 relegation season. Matthew Everington, 03-04. Teddy Sheringham, 04-05. Danny Gabidon, 05-06. 06-07. Carlos Tevez kept us up, didn't he? No, he didn't. 2007-2008, the first goalkeeper on the list, Robert Green. Scott Parker, 8-09, 9-10, and 10-11. Won it 3 years in a row. I think he emulated that in the Hammer of the Year awards as well. James Tompkins, 2011-12. Winston Reid, 12-13. 13-14, the first and only time he's ever won it. Player of the Year, Mark Noble. 14-15, Aaron Cresswell. 15-16, Dimitri Payet. 16-17, Manuel Lanzini. 2017-2018, Marko Arnautovic. Lucas Fabianski, 18-19, 19-20 was, who was it, 19-20? Declan Rice, and also winning it last year, I think. So there you go. Some big names in that list. We will be doing a live show again for you to announce the winners of the awards in a week or two. But as I say, get involved. Get onto the site from tomorrow and find the voting form. I'll also be posting a link to it from the KUMB forum if you reside in there mainly. But that's that's about it from us this afternoon. It has finished on a disappointing note, to be fair. Brighton and Hove, Albion 3, West Ham United 1. But, top 7 finish for the second time. And qualifying for Europe via the league for the second successive season for the first time in the club's history. It's something that's got to be applauded. And we've got some money to spend. Nick doesn't think we have, but we'll see. Hopefully we've got some money to spend this summer and we can enjoy the summer bringing new players. Don't forget to keep an eye on the summer transfer thread on the KUMB forum. Also the homepage, we'll be posting plenty of links to players we're linked to throughout the summer until now in August. We'll be back again then, of course, for more Eyes Up Mother Brown, no doubt, but we're going to enjoy summer off. No World Cup this summer, chaps, to look forward to. That's a bummer, isn't it?
Yeah.
No. Go on.
Rio?
I miss it. I always book 2 weeks off, watch every single game. And, I'm going to miss it.
Yeah, bugger.
I'm not.
December it is. Nick, you're not going to miss it. What will you be doing with your time instead this summer?
Going on holiday, taking photos, and recovering from yet more bloody surgery. But no, so far as I'm concerned, there ain't a World Cup going on this year.
Okay.
Due to political reasons, I can't bring myself to watch it or get involved. I think it's it's the hypocrisy of football that I can't stand. That we're holding this World Cup in a country with this most atrocious human rights record, and then by the same token, championing players coming out as gay, and then going to a country where you can get killed for your sexuality, and the double standard. I want nothing to do, absolutely. And I'm not saying this for effect or whatever. I think you know me well enough that I ain't going to have any games on. I've got absolutely no interest in it. It's just going to be a pain in the arse that it's going to interrupt part of our Premier League season. Right. No interest in it.
Nick's going to be boycotting. Anyone else going to be boycotting? Let us know on the live stream. You have to be very quick because we're going to turn it off in about 30 seconds. But World Cup coming up in December this year. No international competition. Oh, there is the Nations League thing, isn't there, happening? I mean, there's a few games happening next month, I think. I don't know if England, I presume England are involved, but hopefully Jarrod Bowen will be called up for that. That's it from us on the Eyes Up Mother Brown KUMB TV team for another season, not just another week, but another season. What a season it's been. It seems an awful long way back to the beginning of the season when we started out at Newcastle with that incredible 4-1 win, which sort of set us on the way. Lots of things have happened between now and then, and we've also lost a few people along the way. None more so than their old friend Romford, who was a stalwart of the site for many years and sadly passed away towards the end of the season. Hugely missed by everyone at KUMB and of course by all his friends and family and everyone else who was at West Ham, especially those in the way season ticket holders who are very close to Chaz. So I guess we'll dedicate all these streams this season to him this year, and as I say, he's much missed by everyone at the team. Obviously lost a few players along the way as well this year, but it's the way it goes. That's life, isn't it, I suppose. But anyway, we'll be back next season. Until then, say keep an eye on KUMB for all the latest updates throughout the summer, transfer news, and any other news relating to West Ham. We'll be bringing it to you straight away. That's it from us today. From myself, my big thanks to my co-host this afternoon, to Nick and to Rio for their company today and throughout the season, and especially our thanks to all of you who've joined us on the live streams throughout the season. We couldn't do it without your help. And your contributions. So thank you sincerely to all of you for coming on this journey with us. We'll be back next year for a bit more, hopefully, if my voice holds up that long. But that's it. Have a great summer, everyone. Look after yourselves. Take care. Be good. And we'll catch you again in August. Until then.
Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.